Yes, welcome. It is finally time. My very first Warhammer 3 tournament is about to get underway, and I am extremely hyped to be delving into this today. We have 4 players. It is going to be a cheeky 2 best-of-3 semi-final and a best-of-5 final. Up first, we have the mighty Lynxy taking on Darv Plays, in which will be a Tzeentch mirror match. So they did blind picks, both port Tzeentch, and I think they're both happy to play Tzeentch, so I'm going to double check that if they want to re-roll and redo their factions. We may well start the game with a mirror match. And up after this, we do have Mr. Logic_EU taking on Mercy the Mad. Hopefully, Mercy is currently streaming and will be free in about an hour's time. So hopefully these guys will be taking, good free games out of each other and going all the way. If not, I can always hop in and take Mercy's position if need be. It is going to be domination. We're playing on the Eye of the North to start with, and it should be some good fun. Tzeentch versus Tzeentch. I am all about it. So let me quickly double check, see if the guys wanted to redo their factions, or if it's going to be Tzeentch versus Tzeentch. I kind of want a Tzeentch mirror match because I haven't really seen many. Let's see what the lads say. I'm cool with mirror. Awesome. Let's do it. It is going to be Tzeentch v Tzeentch. That is going to be some awesome stuff. So very excited. Hope you guys are also hyped. So many people in chat. What's up? Quack, quack, quack. Lots of quacks everywhere. Quacks for the quack god. Let's go, Darv Screams. Luke got a bit of support in here for the Darv boy. Does anyone know the recommended specs for Warhammer 3? I think you can find them online now. I think they have been put out. If you just go onto, I guess, Total War's official website, they should be up there. Still waiting for my ogre boys to be able to join in the screaming and run. That's part of the fun. This will scratch the itch for now. Don't you worry, James. When ogres arrive, you'll know about it. Ogres, I'm not going to say anything, but I love them very much. Very, very much. What's up, everyone? I would say hello to everyone like we do at the start of every stream, but there's quite a few of you guys in here. So I'm just going to say quack to you all. I'm very excited to be doing this first tournament. Pretty simple stuff. Just best of 3s, best of 5, nothing too crazy. It is going to be ultra unit scale, as is now kind of the way of doing tournaments, and it's the same as ranked. It's all done on ultra unit scale. Tzeentch v Tzeentch. Now, the cool thing about mirror matches now, for a caster point of view, the people can change sub-faction as their color scheme. So as you can see, Darv here is going for a slightly different color scheme of a purple compared to the blue of Lynxy. So hopefully we don't get too lost in the madness. It's definitely going to be kind of crazy. I expected Darv to go Tzeentch because his name on this is Screamer Face, with a picture of one of the Tzeentch Screamers. Lynxy does have a picture of a Dwarf Slayer, though, so he has kind of forsaken his Dwarvish vows here and has gone one with the demons. Perhaps he's going to be a chaotic one, who knows? Gameplay indeed. We're going to see some awesome stuff. I love Loopy. A tournament with no Slaanesh is no true tournament. I agree. I can't wait for Slaanesh to get revealed and stuff. They're very fun. They're very fun. The PC recommendations are on Steam. Thank you so much, Starbend. That is a good place to check out. But yeah, check on Steam, check on their website. You'll be able to find it for sure. For sure, but loads of quacks in chat. Love to have you guys here. Very excited to be delving into this. The guys just going to be picking their builds right now. Plotting, scheming. I'd like to give some advice on matchups in general, because I know a decent amount now. I haven't played quite a few games, but Tzeentch versus Tzeentch isn't something I've done. I've not really played mirror matches. I think I played one Kislev v Kislev game, which I may cast because it was insanely close and a bucket ton of fun. But Tzeentch, one of the most powerful range factions in the game. They bring a bucket ton of range damage to the battlefield. Highlight units for me from Tzeentch's roster, I would say the Doom Knights and the Flamers. They're kind of my favorite units to see. This is going to be a very weird matchup because Tzeentch, despite having their shields, can be a little glass cannon as well still, because they don't have much HP after those shields do get dragged low, and they do a lot of damage. So I think Tzeentch is going to be quite popular amongst the Elvish players of you guys who are big Elf fans from Warhammer 2. So let's ready up. Looks like the lads are ready to rumble. We'll hop into this and get to the first game of the stream. Yes, yes. Quack, quack. What's up, Anne? How's it going? Nurgle mirror when? Oh my god, don't do it to me. I know the other Torn players are probably watching this. I know Mercy can't make it just yet. He's going to be here in about an hour, hopefully. Nurgle mirror match may break my body. I think it could be grindier than Count mirror match. It's going to be that grindy. Nurgle, do not die. Nurgle, just do not die. We've been testing so much stuff out. I brought Boris, a friend brought Boris, double Warbear Riders, and a Patriarch, I think, to try to kill, a Nurgle starting army with the Plague Father and a Great Unclean One and stuff, and they just do not die because they have so much juicy healing. It's very powerful. Looks like it is Fate Weaver for, I believe that's Darv, and it looks like Lynxy may have gone for the little chonky bird. Let's have a little quick look at the builds. So it is Mr. Screamerface, aka Darv, going for a bit of an air core here. But on the ground, we have some Chaos Knights of Tzeentch and Blue Horrors of Tzeentch. I know some people were upset about the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch because I think they look too similar to the basic models. I don't know what it is. I love the purple color scheme, so maybe I'm biased. But the purple color scheme and the icy glowing eyes, I think it's quite a cool aesthetic there. We have some Blue Horrors of Tzeentch down on the ground. They're your relatively cheap infantry. I actually use them in combat, despite the fact they're a ranged unit. They're my unit to chuck on objectives and just cap. We do have double Doom Knights up in the skies, looking ferocious and legendary as always. Probably my favorite unit in the Tzeentch roster. And then just behind, we do have Chaos Fate Weaver coming in with Pendulum Blue Fire, as well as his pin and his kind of, I suppose, durability item, I like to call it. The Oracle of Eternity, giving that 44% damage resistance. Gaze of Fate to pin is really nice. Pendulum, which is very powerful, and the Blue Fire of Tzeentch. Very interesting to see how Pendulum does against the shields, though, of Tzeentch, and see if that's a bit of a counter to them. For Tzeentch themselves on the other side, and the mighty Lynxie, and the blue Tzeentch we're going to be calling them. They do have the Doom Knights of Tzeentch, up to triple silver chevron. We do have the Herald of Tzeentch as well. Now, he's the ultimate chonky bird. He doesn't really want to fight into combat, but he's cheap, he's cheerful, and he's ready to cast some spells, coming in with the blue and pink fire spells. One is anti-infantry, one is anti-large there, and he also has the Tome, which is quite decent, and Opal Amulet, with a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. Big fan of this unit. We have Blue Horrors and Exalted Pink Horrors in the back. Wild stuff. Now, the reason I love the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, each of the Soul Grinders for the different factions fulfills a different role. Nurgle's is anti-infantry range, Tzeentch's is anti-large range, which I think is really quite scary. So his orbs in his hand, there you go, forms into a javelin and Kobe's them down range. Although Darv, of course, a very skilled multiplayer player, does manage to juke for the most part, takes a few hits, but they are going to be taken on his shield. They aren't able to burst through there. But I like this idea of bringing the Soul Grinder, try to counteract someone like Fate Weaver, alongside the Herald of Tzeentch, who's popping at those blue warp fire shots there into him, and it's going to do some really good damage. Take basically all his shield off, but this is the beautiful thing about Tzeentch. You take damage like that, you fall back, you get out of there, you can simply come back bigger, better, stronger next time. Yes. Pendulum not banned? Pendulum definitely not banned. Pendulum's not that OP. It's, like, good, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty close to what Pendulum is in the current game. Pendulum's always been very powerful. But it's not, like, too much different, to be honest. Lynxie is falling back now. The Exiled Pink Horror is going to be driving back. He looks like he's going to struggle a little bit of map control early on. Darv has managed to move his force out to go on all three objectives, at least dominate the airways in all three objectives. Blue Horrors of Tzeentch are going to be capturing Objective 1. Objective 3 is being threatened as well by some Doom Knights, so they themselves cannot capture. And in the center, the Chaos Knights have started to push forward. So it looks like Lynxie's waiting a bit, biding his time, trying to do some long-range damage, but he's trying to Kobe for Fate Weaver, which I think is a bit of a mistake. Oh no, he goes down for the Chaos Knights and does take their shield completely away with one big blast. Looks like we do have the first blood as well, the first victim of battle. A couple of dead guys there, and some blue blood. Reminds me of the elites from Halo there. So now the Blue Horrors have moved up, and this is going to be pretty nasty for them. Chaos Knight and a Doom Knight sandwich. We do have Flames of Tzeentch moving forward, one of the most powerful units for Tzeentch, if they're able to fire here, but it looks like the Doom Knights are going to intercept and bomb down on them. They get one cheeky volley off, doing some pretty solid damage, but the Blue Horrors are now engaged in combat in the middle, and the Knights running over them. Doom Knight on Doom Knight violence is something we've all wanted to see. Look at this juicy bump and grind action. Oh, baby. This is what we're all here for, and unfortunately there are some Flamers in the mix of that, but they're starting to fall back relatively safe here, and we're quite close to Lynxie's spawn zone, so he should have a bit of a upper hand in this little fight, and it looks like he's doing really good. Chaos Knights starting to be dragged down, Doom Knights as well being dragged down, all of their shields are gone. I love this Soul Grinder just launching shots into the flank here of the Doom Knights, doing some big damage, and up in the sky is Fate Weaver as well. His entire shield is ripped from him. We have some more Doom Knights coming in from Darv here, as well as some Chaos Knights. It looks like Objective 1 is now being secured by Blue Horrors. None of the other objectives has anyone on. They should be active in about 11 seconds. Doom Knights are moving forward, trying to hunt down, it would seem, the Herald of Tzeentch. He's going to be very careful. He will easily be dragged down by them, but so far Lynxie's been pretty impressive. The Soul Grinder has been able to protect the Flamers just about. It looks like this unit of Doom Knights will be dying. They're currently terrified and being chased away. Elsewhere, Lynxie's Doom Knights, Triple Silver Chevron is no joke, and they're hunting down Fate Weaver, who, unlike the basic Greater Demon for Tzeentch, he doesn't really want to be in combat. The basic one's got decent combat stats. This guy, they're okay, but he's really your spellcaster. He doesn't want to get involved up with Doom Knights or anything like that. Too uncivilized for him. The Pink Horrors doing some nice damage, raining shots down now on the Chaos Knights. That's allowing the Blue Horrors just to pin them in place and more damage to pour in. We do have Doom Knights of Darv, though, hunting down the Flamers. Looks like they are about to meet their end, though, as there's two Doom Knights flying high in the sky. Soul Grinder not able to protect them. And this nice early pressure from Darv, though he's losing a lot of units. You can see on the left-hand side, Lynx, he's done a lot more damage. It looks like Darv has complete control of the battlefield, at least for now. He is the only player with an objective. He's also the one more likely to capture objective number 2 here, though Lynxy has got his Doom Knights in the back, trying to jump down for some Forsaken, which might be a bit of a mismatch, because Forsaken actually do bring a bucket ton of damage, plus magic attacks to the field. So I'm expecting them to be able to drag down at the Doom Knights here, though Fate Weaver is having a pretty juicy day so far. Down here in the middle. Oh no, Lynxy, you were doing so good. No! Gaze of Fate catches out the Herald, means he can't move, lowers his melee attack, and now the Doom Knights plus Fate Weaver are just slapping his cheeks. My poor little chonky bird, survive! He does pop Opal Amulet on him to try and keep him going, and a lovely raking shot comes in from the Soul Grinder, launching shots in. That's going to be juicy value firing into this blob of troops, but I don't think it's going to be enough. If I'm Darv, I don't care how many men I lose here. I'm killing that chonky bird and dragging it down, and it looks like he may indeed be spent, and the tickets certainly adding up now for Mr. Darv. Pink Horrors are raining shots in relatively decently, as well as the Soul Grinder still. Again, just wanting to fire from range. We do have some more Chaos Knights trying to duel in the middle here and pin in Lynxy forces where possible. It looks like we've got some big shots as well coming in from the Blue Horrors. We have Flamers coming in. It is just carnage up in the skies, and it does look like the poor general of Lynxy did go down. But likewise, Doom Knights up in here are trying their hardest to take down Fate Weaver, but are really struggling quite badly, as Fate Weaver is going to be able to escape relatively unscathed there. Good battlefield pressure so far from Darv. He is right up in the deployment zone of Lynxy, which is quite troublesome for him. He's done a decent start to the battle. Pink Horrors are launching shots in. We also have the Soul Grinder trying its hardest. Flamers, though, are being driven back by the Chaos Knights, and I don't think Lynxy's build has enough to deal with Knights. Like, there's been a lot of Knights on the field from Darv, and they have run rampant. Look at this. Knights, 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 and they are flooding the battlefield and just running over all the Pink and Blue Horrors they please. Doom Knights, he certainly made sure he would win the air game, going maybe a little too expensive on Doom Knights, but if it guarantees you can win that, your cavalry can win the low ground, and Darv is looking very comfortable right now. Very, very comfortable. We do have some Chaos Fury summoned. We have Blue Horrors of Tzeentch also moving up. Looks like Flamers have been summoned in an attempt to drag down Darv's forces, and he's doing a decent amount of damage. You can still see Lynxy has done more damage. Oh, no, he's done less damage now than Darv. All right, he was doing more before, but he's not that far behind, about 1,000 gold less damage, but he is getting pinned in so bad now. This is when an experienced player needs to know what to do. You do not just spam in and trickle one unit at a time, you will lose. But at the moment, he is so far behind, he will be getting way more resources than Darv would. So you save that up, you build a big army, then you come out swinging, and you floor your opponent and try and capture all the objectives back. Chaos Knights taking big damage from the Flamers. Oh my god, these guys, yeah, burning inside their armor. Metal just being kind of rendered and fused with flesh. And the Soul Grinder has been a pretty good boiled day, up to 13 kills only, though. He has been targeting big targets. Also, the Pink Horrors are raining shots down in. And this is a nice by Lynxy. He's getting so much value here. It's kind of getting guaranteed wins. Like Darv sending in 1 or 2 cavalry. That's fine. I can kill them, but it's kind of a good delaying tactic from Darv until he can get Fate Weaver over there with his pendulums and nasty spells, and the airways are definitely dominated. That Gaze of Fate so powerful, particularly coming in with the Blue Horrors. Now we do get a pendulum go down the line. It's only on Pink Horrors, so nothing too crazy. The Flamers are still doing decent damage, but there is so much pressure now coming in from Darv. It is a bit of a wash, as there's simply not enough on Lynxy's force left to really hold the line. Flames of Tzeentch getting jumped by Furies. Soul Grinder is getting in there, but Lynxy is going to bow out. I think at this point he knows there is no chance. Darv came in swinging hard here in our first tournament. It should also be known Lynxy is more of a campaign player, so big props to him going up against someone like the mighty Darv himself. 500 value on his Herald, only 680 on the Soul Grinder though. I mean, the problem I think with the Soul Grinder, this Soul Grinder is amazing, but not in this matchup, because the shields mitigate so much of its damage. And you could see it was popping shots in against the big flies. They would run away and come back and just start laughing and cackling. And the poor Soul Grinder could do nothing but kind of grit its teeth and smack the ground. 1.3k gold value on the Doom Knights. 25 kills as well. Pretty good work from them. The Exiled Horrors didn't do too much, unfortunately, with the Blue Horrors. Just nothing to do with cavalry was the big problem from this build. Like, all of this, anti-infantry, everything. I mean, the Flamers did good work, right? 1.2k value, 400 and 300. These guys kind of getting pinned back a little bit. But I think Darv's build, he was much more prepared for the Tzeentch Mirror. 1.1k on Fate Weaver, double Doom Knights, 1.8k, 900 value, 765 on the Chaos Knights. Really quite scary stuff from Darv coming in. This is a build I'm probably going to steal if I come up against other Tzeentch players. 1000 value on the Forsaken. That was a lovely build. That was just scary. Scary, scary, scary stuff. So let's mix up the map, and let's go Broken Leg Gully. Let's do a bit of Broken Leg Gully. Moo Quack, what's up, Torx? You actually able to catch a live stream. Hope you're doing good, man. Yes. I feel like Warhammer 3 is going to have the same issues as Warhammer 2, where you can't use elite infantry. Oh, trust me. Elite infantry is amazing. It's very good. I'd still say, I reckon mid-tier infantry is going to come into its own in this game. Elite infantry is very good, just for holding objectives like a champ. Yeah, Pendulum's fine. It's, like, powerful, but it's not that much more powerful than it was before. It's just easy to see the amount of damage it does now. Someone asks, do you think Domination will be the place where the Shredder of Lustria will finally shine? Are you telling me you don't think the Shredder already shines? I think the Shredder's already found its place in the Hall of Greatness, but in reality, the Shredder is very expensive. Very expensive. I'm not sure. Maybe if you keep it in your starting army. Yeah, it looks like Dov and Linksy are literally chatting to each other. We got a group chat just for the tournament, and they're saying, like, yeah, the Knights were the true one. Awesome. So I'll ask Linksy what his faction is. What is... Oh, no, he already told me. Let me check. I think he did all of his in advance. So, I believe it is Kislev versus Khorne next. Kislev versus Khorne. Awesome. Let me get back to chat now. We will mix up to the Broken Leg Gully, which is one of the most straightforward maps. I like a lot of these maps. There's one in particular. I think it's Galleon's Grove, which may be my favorite Total War map of all time. It is so freaking good. There's like raised platforms where you can place artillery and they cover objectives and stuff. It's almost very like 40k tabletop-like, which I do feel like a domination mode for this game could be a bit of a testing ground to say, hey, if this works, 40k maybe on the cards, because I think it answers a lot of problems that things like Empire Total War had, where you're just two lines of guns shooting each other, and it kind of counters that out. Torx at lunch now? Perfect, Torx, perfect. Torx, are you part of a clan LP, by the way? I hope you are. Oh, I hope you're not, because we were going to invite you to DBD, bro, but I think someone told me you might be in LP. Khorne is broken? Khorne's good. I don't think it's broken. I don't think it's the best faction in the game, even, but it's very good. I agree. Khorne, I hate, like, you can ask Logic. I've played against him so many times where there's flesh hounds and dogs, like, coming out of every orifice of my build, and it is a nightmare to deal with. Khorne are very powerful. I think they're the easiest faction for new players to play. I think as the game goes on a bit longer, people will see some of the other factions which I think could dominate. I think there's we got a couple of factions left to see yet, guys, as well. Don't worry about it. Please update score. See, GG Gamer, this is why I need you in chat, because I forget this every single time. So let's quickly update the scoreboard. It is 1-0 to Darv. If this game is a win for Darv, I am going to see if the guys want to do a third game, just because we're waiting till half past for Mercy. But otherwise, we can do like a like exposition match type thing, like a shaft, right? Empire Total was great, no discussion on it. I think the campaign was great. I didn't play the game, my friends did. I didn't have a good enough PC back at the time, but I've heard a lot of problems in the multiplayer for it. Yeah, exactly. Dawn of War 1 and 2 should be proof of concept for a 40k Total War game. Like, Dawn of War 1... maybe like my most played game of all time as a kid. I played that game so much, and Dawn of War 2 was very different, but freaking awesome. The Retribution mod, I nearly started casting games on that as well, but I ended up focusing just on Total War. So for the forces of Darv, coming in strong with the mighty Kislev. I love Kislev. They're probably my favorite faction to play right now, simply due to all the bears. And we have Boris Urson himself, looking swag daddy-licious. I love his bears. So all of the Lord's bears, like the Legendary Lords, have their own bears, and his is by far my favorite. Look at that freaking gold armor with like the ice shard sticking out of it. It is beautiful. He is coming in with Stand Your Ground, Fury of Urson, which is quite a nice little buff to himself. Also, the Shard Blade, which is very powerful. Only 2 uses, though. With a Patriarch as well, coming in with his own green-skinned bear, which looks pretty cool. He's basically a warrior priest, coming with Urson's Roar, the Song of Winter's Sunlight, and then the Lullaby and the Battle Hymn. These are the 2 I always take, plus 40 melee attack, and the Regeneration, which can be used 3 times, is quite nice. We have some Corsair Spears. Looks like 2 of the naked Fanatics. Oh, they're not naked. They're just, they've got their arms out. We have some Light War Sleds on the left and some Warbear Riders on the right. War Sleds, I think, are going to be quite meta in general for Kislev. They're very good indeed. Now for the forces of Khorne, and Mr. Lynx here, needing to bounce back from that 1-0 loss. He is coming in with Chaos Warhounds and double Flesh Hounds of Khorne. Very fast, very mobile. I like bringing them in as reserves more than a starting army, but that is personal preference. With a Skull Crusher unit of Khorne. Oh, hell yeah! These guys looking gangster. They're so cool charging into battle here. We also have some Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons. Minotaurs, again, very powerful. They will have their... They will be, like, have their... I don't know the best way to put it with a Minotaur, but they'll have their asses handed to them by Boris and the Warbears, though. He is a monster. We also have the Herald of Khorne down here, coming in with a couple of just his light buffs. He's a pretty simple, cheaper lord. Looks like Lynxy is summoning in some more glorious Flesh Hounds of Khorne on the left-hand side. Kislev just going to be moving up to take the domination of this middle point, and also summoning some Corsair Spears over on the far side, which should be quite nice. Very interesting to see how this game goes. It looks like Khorne decided to actually split their force, have a fast mobile core to try and kind of capture or at least contest objective number 3, and their heavy hitters on objective 1. But I don't know if Kislev are going to allow that to happen. Of course, this is their home objective. They're summoning in more and more troops, just even more spears, to try to contest. And the Hounds don't really want to take on this many spearmen, particularly because Flesh Hounds count as large targets. Seems like the Light War Sleds are going to be moving back. That snow is right in my eyes with the glow there. Oh my god, look at that. You can barely see the units. That is insane. Okay, when you zoom in, it kind of goes away a little bit. Boris and his warbears, as well as his hero, are just roaring and getting ready for a good scrap. It does look like the Skull Crushers are coming in and the Minotaurs. This is going to be a big fight, and I think it's definitely going to favor Kislev, because Darv just needs to turn the warbears around and Boris, and they will start slapping the Skull Crushers and Minotaurs quite nastily. Hounds have jumped on all the kind of combination units, so you'd think these guys are range units so you can shut them down, but they're actually not just range units. They're hybrids. They fire their spears. They can certainly do a decent job. We even have some of the dervishes here, light cavalry, very cheap, not too hard hitting, basically peasant cavalry in a way, and the Hounds are doing a decent job. We've also got some Flesh Hounds ready to capture objective 3 if it becomes possible, but this middle fight is all Kislev, baby. This is going to be so tough for Khorne, I think, realistically. It looks like we have all the buffs going down. Warbears are super hyped right now. Minotaurs getting in their cleaving axes, though, doing a decent job, and it is just like steel on furry flesh. A big old scrap. Looks like some of the spears are starting to go down. The Warbears taking considerable damage right now, despite having all their buffs active. The Minotaurs doing a decent job, but it does look like Khorne is slowly being whittled down here. However, a lovely rear attack through the snow bounds the mighty Flesh Hounds of Khorne. Maybe to get a rear attack on the Warbears. Get the rear attack. Go, Lynxy. Go. Don't wait. The Hounds are like trying to like think, do we do this? Do we not do this? Are we really going to charge a bear? Yes, you're going to charge a bear. Jumping on them with the Minotaur support. They might be able to drag them down. Unfortunately, on this far side, Skull Crushers of Khorne going down. The Herald of Khorne's not looking too shabby, though, but Boris is very healthy. Very contested game so far. It looks like the Warhounds, are so many of them, were able to swarm this left-hand side. There is Wing Lancers here, however, now. Wing Lancers don't do good against Flesh Hounds, but they do great against the Chaos Warhounds, so it should be a relatively safe kind of objective, I'd think, for Darv. Lynxy has not decided to go for objective 1 yet. I'd like to see a cheap summoned unit just to go over there and try to claim it. I do like having the summon of the Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds moving towards their central objective, which is currently falling into the hands of Darv as he summons more light war sleds to the action. This other unit is just chasing off a loud of routing troops. And now they're going to be coming back into the center to dominate. It is very close. It looks like Khorne... Oh, no. Yeah, Khorne owns the center now, which is quite good. So Khorne owns the center, and it looks like they're going to start getting tickets here. So a nice early lead coming in from Lynxy. But has it been worth it? He's lost a lot of troops. The Minotaurs have done so much work. I've been very impressed with their presence in the middle. But Boris is looking healthy. The Patriarch may go down here, though. A well-placed charge coming from the Herald of Khorne. He's able to drop some of his buffs, but the light war sleds come in and push him off his target. So a very contested fight in the middle. Objective 3 has been held by no one because Lynxy's been a big pain in the butt to Darv and be like, nah, I'm just going to constantly send flesh hounds over here. And I think Darv's had enough. Look at this, a sandwich of winged lancers. The doggos fighting back to back, brother to brother. But I think, unfortunately, it looks like that objective is going to get swarmed now by Khorne, who committed so many forces to the middle. And it looks like they may lose it. They're currently holding firm. Objective 1 is getting picked up by them. We have some Chaos Warhounds there. Need to be careful, though. Any winged lancers or sleds go over there will finish them off. And the Minotaurs flee just after they get the buff. That's such a shame. However, there are now Chaos Warriors of Khorne with halberds in here. The Herald of Khorne is buffing them up, and the Patriarch will start to suffer. Boris is whipping around and just clatters into the side of the Herald, who's not going to have a good day. War Sleds as well, they will struggle against Flesh Hounds, I would expect, but Chaos Warhounds won't be too much of a problem for them. They are gigantic bears after all. Now in the center, we do have a summon. It looks like we do have a glorious summon of Bloodletters coming in from the Cultist of Khorne. He only has that one summon. These guys cannot capture objectives, sadly. It is currently being held by Khorne, but is so close in the middle. The Halberds do need the support of the Bloodletters. If they charge in and are able to pin in the Light War Sleds, they can do some big work, but instead it looks like they're coming in for the bouquet of the enemy leadership, who can simply run away at this point. The bears are relatively swift and fast. They are quite going savage, though, on that poor Cultist. I only wanted to come and bring my friends the Bloodletters to action, and this is how you repay my love. Getting forced off, and Kislev starting to control the middle, and they had to invest a lot to get back objective number 3. The wing lancers are coming, loads of spearmen, though I'd probably withdraw these units because they're relatively low HP and let them heal up. We do have a Frost Maiden of Ice coming in on the far side. So objective 1 held by Khorne, objective 3 currently by Kislev, middle objective just by Khorne, but it looks like they are about to lose it now. And it looks like Darv's kind of wrestled after a very contested start. He has kind of wrestled control of the game, and it's going to be quite tough for Lynxy to come back into this. Let's see what he has on the battlefield. Well, he has more Flesh Hounds. Looks like a load more Flesh Hounds, looking to maybe contest some of the side objectives. Now, Flesh Hounds, probably the best unit in the Khorne roster. One of the best units in the game, but I do find you need to pair them up with Chaos Warriors, because otherwise Wing Lancers, like swarms of Wing Lancers like this, or even someone like a Boris can quite comfortably deal with them. We do have 4 Minotaurs moving over, up to 43 kills so far. Looks like a second Cultist of Khorne was summoned, so you can bring those juicy Bloodletters to the battlefield. The Flesh Hounds moving to the left. It looks like more Hounds are summoned as well. I don't know if this is going to be the way. I think we need a more solid Khorne army, whereas trickling these Hounds might not be the way to go, but we'll see how they do. They do trade relatively cost-effectively up against Wing Lancers, particularly with like so many overwhelming numbers, as more and more Hounds do start to join the party. But I think Darv will be quite happy for this trade, because the Wing Lancers are keeping back pretty much all of the Khorne army at this point, and that's going to allow him just to go cap objective 1. We do have more light war sleds. I am a big fan of the heavy ones as well. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any of them today. But all the war sleds moving over towards objective 1, and after what was a pretty close start, and I think a good start as well by Lynxy, I think, you know, he's going up against an experienced multiplayer play. He's done a decent job here, but it is looking a little bit rough now for him. He has summoned some more Flesh Hounds to the battlefield. The Cultists don't really know which way to go, and at this point he probably needs to sit back, build up an army, and then do a big push for one objective and kind of go from there. The Minotaurs of Khorne have entered the main fight, but oh, this is disgusting. Oh no, an Overcast Heart of Winter goes down. That's a big air effect slow and damage dealer. Look at the poor Minotaurs and Flesh Hounds just get ripped apart. The Wing Lancers, they're happy to fight in this. They are born of Kislev. Ice runs in their veins. This is nothing but a light frost to them. But to the forces of Khorne, who are used to kind of volcanoes and fighting the realms of chaos, not too good a day for them. And now the tickets has well and truly swung. Oh, not quite yet in favor of Mr. Darv, but he has got the triple cap, and look at the war sleds. The war sleds cometh. War sleds are so freaking good. I almost always bring 4 units of them in my Kislev armies. If I don't bring them in from the start, they're just so powerful. You can see them swooping down now, looking to engage with the enemy, and Khorne just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They've come in caught with their trousers down after losing the big fight up on the high ground here, and the Warhounds, they're still chewing. They're still chewing. They will eventually get through the Wing Lancers, but it's taken them such a long time that Darv's like, you know what, I'm going to line up my army, I definitely think Darth at this point should take these spin and maybe even these ones and withdraw them from the battlefield so you can get them back a little bit healthier and a little bit quicker for if the battle does kick off again, because I have seen reverse sweeps like this. I've also been reverse sweeped in situations like this where I thought my opponent had no chance, but it is looking pretty good for Mr. Darth right now. He does summon a unit of halberds. I think this is a nice unit to bring in. They would be able to contest the middle against most of these units, and supported with the Warhounds, they should do a good job. Cultists are popping in. Looks like we have the early summon as well. Of the Bloodletters, maybe? No, that's just the rest of the forces. Here come the Bloodletters, but the War Sleds should be able to run away. Now, the Hounds are going to be able to pin them and slow them down. You can see some Light War Sleds being surrounded, and the mighty fangs are ripping into the flesh of the bears who are trying to swipe left and right. Cultists come in though as well, and the Light War Sleds are in a hot retreat where possible. In comes the Patriarch. In the name of the great bear god, you shall stand your ground. Sons and daughters of Kislev. Boris as well bounds in, trying to inspire the men. Coming with a load of buffs, but this isn't really where you want to be if you're Kislev. Or if you're Khorne, I should say, sorry. More Warhounds have been summoned. The left-hand side, look at this. So the Frost Maiden coming over, and we now have the Griffin Legion. And this is a fantastic counter to all those Warhounds as well as Flesh Hounds, because the Griffin Legion, they don't mess around. 100 armor on these bad boys. They will comfortably destroy Hounds all day long. In the middle here, it looks like we do have the big air effect by Boris coming in, and he's just pouring on the damage. My god, Boris, initially people, I think, thought he wasn't going to be like the main go-to. It was going to be Constantine, but I generally think Boris might be the most competitive Lord, at least in certain matchups. He is such a powerhouse. Up to 2.6k HP now. Light War Sleds are trying to support him. He is getting picked apart here, but he's a thick, meaty boy on that bear, and I would always bring him on the bear, because look how freaking badass it looks. Unfortunately, we don't have the Blood Pack yet. No one has Blood Pack in early access, I do not believe, so no glorious ketchup sprayed all over these units. Big fight is kicking off. We do have some more Hounds summoned, but Darth just showing his experience as a tournament player, waiting for the enemy to bunch up like this, pulling them all in, and then dropping some big damage from the Frost Maiden, who's up to over 100 kills right now. She is a big answer to everything that Lynxie is throwing at them. Griffin Legion as well can quite comfortably beat down the Chaos Warhounds, and I think that is most likely going to be the game. Light War Sleds trying their best. Boris is, still doing good, just hunting down the cultists. I like these picked by Lynxie. They seem very popular in general, cultists, just for their summon potential, and they're okay melee combatants after that, but particularly when you're up against someone like Boris, you're not going to stand much of a chance. He is just a one-man wrecking ball. We do have some more halberds trying to come in, but Kislev rules supreme on the battlefield. Even their infantry just wants to get in on the action. It wants to get down and scrap and fight. Now, what Lynxie should have done, he kind of poured in a load of Hounds over to the left-hand side. He was kind of pouring in units in the middle. He had to hold back, and even if you end up losing the tickets so that you're like 1,000 or 2,000 tickets behind, it doesn't matter, as long as you can push out a big army, crush your opponents, and then reverse sweep them. Kind of do what Darth's doing to Lynxie right now, because these kind of one units trickling in like this, Boris just doesn't care. He's far too tanky. We've got a Frost Maiden in here. We have War Bears still riding sturdy, and we have Light War Sleds charging in as well. Tickets 4,900 for Darth to the 1.6 of Lynxie, who did really good though once again. He is obviously a campaign player, trying his hand at multiplayer, and doing a solid job there. So well played to the lads. Boris, 3,500 damage value. In fact, I'll get to this in a second. I'm just going to message the guys and see if they want to do one more. I like Lynxie's early army. He played so good at the start. He played so good. I haven't seen anyone use Gorby's chariots yet. I'm trying to think who can use them. Is it Khorne? Thank you so much, Ryan, for the donation. I really appreciate it, dude. And I feel like Gorby's chariots could be good. Could be good. Let me see how sec. Dove and Lynxie. Want to play one more while we wait for Mercy. Let's see if they want to play one more. I don't blame Lynx if he doesn't want to. He's also going up against Darth, and it's struggling a little bit. Though I think, again, he's playing pretty good. 3.5k on Boris, though. 69 kills. Having an absolute blast. 1.8k on the War Bears. Doing some good work there. 1.3 on the Patriarch. War Sleds. 1.8k value. Now, you're not expecting the light troops to do too much. They're here to cap objectives. 1.1k on the Frost Maiden with 120 kills is so nice. 1.5, 690, 500 on the War Sleds. They are very scary indeed. Wing Lancers did decent, mid to high hundreds on them. The Griffin Legion, I think, was quite a nice late-game push by Darv coming in. Just like, hey, you're going to constantly send hounds at me to harass. The hounds were slowly breaking through the wing lancers. Like, cool, I'm going to save up a little bit, bring the bad boys, and chuck them into the carnage. As for Lynxie, good starting build, man. 1.1k on the Herald, only 980 on the Skull Crushers. I think they let the side down a bit because the Minotaurs were packing a punch. 1,856 damage dealt on them, 999 on the Flesh Hounds, 1.4k on the Flesh Hounds, but they were summoned multiple times, of course. That's not just off one life. I don't think anything else really got fantastic value. Looks like the Halberds in the high hundreds, 1,180, not bad whatsoever, but simply not enough to deal with the large. Not enough to deal with the large, particularly after the Minotaurs went down. The Minotaurs were kind of his counter to large, right? And then when they were felled, it was a bit problematic for them. So let's move on now to crossing of the Sea of Claws. Let's see if they want to do one more game, because I think we're waiting for Mercy. Lynxie says, as long as your viewers don't mind watching me get annihilated. No, man, it's all good. Go for it. Cool, so I think we are going to do one more. Yeah, no shame at all, man. No shame. I must hang my head in shame? Bro. Bro. Honestly, don't. Darv is a very experienced and honestly very underrated multiplayer player. Like, I don't know why people don't bring Darv up more, like, as a really solid multiplayer player. Maybe it's because he's a caster, that people see that kind of side of him more. He is nasty with it, bro, when he comes to multiplayer as well. And I should know, I've played a few Warhammer 3 games against him. So, we're going to open up, particularly with Kislev, man. He is very scary of Kislev. His War Sled play, I think he just likes them so much because they're like War Wagons, if War Wagons were really good. Like, they're good like a melee combatants as well. So Mercy should be ready in 20 minutes, so we have time for one more game. I think if Mercy can't play for whatever reason, then Battlesea might be waiting in the back pocket to hop in and take his place. Which would be really cool. Talks the Brass Bull says, why are you such a hot dog? I don't know, man. I can't help it. I appreciate the comments as well as the donation, man. Love having you around, dude. I don't know. I think you're the only one who sees me that way, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, I might hop in as well. We'll wait to see if when Mercy turns up. He won Darv, man. Darv went beast mode. Kislev versus Khorne feels a little Kislev favored. Khorne doesn't seem to have the straight counter to war sleds. They do have potential with like hounds and stuff. They can really do a good job. Even like the flesh hounds can counter the chariots quite nicely. The problem there was that the hounds were kind of all busy fine on the left-hand side and allowed them to just all get kind of like slaughtered early on. Then he was like drip feeding them in, right? Because that's the only kind of way you could see getting back into the battle. It looks like we are doing Nurgle versus Kislev though. So Lynxie is coming in with Kislev, trying to redeem his honor here with the mighty forces of the Ice Queen Court up against Nurgle of Mr. Darv here. Now Nurgle are a faction I really struggle with to start with, and I've gotten just more better and better with them and kind of enjoyed them more and more as time's gone on. They've been a lot of fun. A lot of fun to use. Can you do Slash? No, we can't play Slash or Ogres today. All that stuff will come out, obviously, in the future, and I've got videos prepared for some of it already, replays prepared, where I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could showcase this, and I can't yet, but it's going to be good fun. Would be cool to see Tzeentch versus Kislev. Tzeentch is awesome versus everyone. I love Tzeentch, but it's good to see some Papa Nurgle being used as well. Yeah, you can surround them with mass for sure. You surround the sleds with mass. Also, the sleds are actually really squishy to range. Obviously, that doesn't help Khorne out. But like cannons, I think there's a game, if you go back, that I cast between me and Darv actually, where it was Cathay versus Kislev, and he summoned a cannon, and it like thumped my war sleds. It did so much damage. What's up? Oh my god, we have a celebrity in chat, Scarbrand. The Eternal, the masterful Lord of Khorne comes in with the fat £20 donation. Wrath, Ruin, Rage Incarnate. I love it, man. And Scarbrand's actually pretty solid. Like, the Bloodthirsters are good because they're so fast and mobile, and the other ones are, the Heralds are so cheap and you can bring them. But Scarbrand, against a few factions, I'm going to have some replays probably. I think I've got some up already with Scarbrand in, but Scarbrand will just 1v1 like anyone. He's a one-man army. He will punch pretty much anything in the face. There's a few lords who might be able to cycle charge him to death, but he can also rampage them and stuff. It's crazy. It is crazy. But dude, thank you so much for the donation, man. You're always so generous. I really do appreciate it. All hail our Khorne overlord. Wish me luck, boys. Good luck, mighty Linksy. I believe in you. I'll fight for each duckling here. I'll die for each duckling here. As for today, I fly. Yes, let's go, Linksy. Let's go. If it's be a tough mode for Vampire Coast, I think it's going to be tough and good for them. Like, if they can get on objectives, they're going to be real sticky to get off. Because they got so much cheap undead infantry that you can heal. Lots of summons, decent air core, and I think bloated corpses might actually be okay, which is kind of weird to say. Like, a unit of, like, Chaos Warriors halberds on an objective, that's fine. Send a cheap bloated corpse over there, they're all dead. So, quicker loading time for this one. Mr. Darth Plays has already qualified for the finals here, but let's quickly hop into this and his army. We have a couple units of Nurglings. We also have a Soul Grinder of Nurgle helping lead the battle line. We have some Spawn of Nurgle, double Cultist as well, who can summon onto the field one Plague Bearer each, or one unit of Plague Bearers, and a Foot Herald of Tzeentch. It's a pretty cool way of playing. I've certainly seen it done well. The Herald of Tzeentch just heals up the Spawn, and they just don't die. Because his passive, and the passive of Nurgle in general, is the Locust here, which does increase hit points every time you cast a spell. Tumor Corruption, your very basic tear-shaped attack, and Fleshy Abundance for the regeneration. As for Kislev, we have a double Warbear Riders going pretty badass there with a Patriarch as well. And then we have Foot Constantine, which I feel like he may have meant to bring him on a bear. He's going to be quite far behind the rest of his build here. We have some Dervishes as well, just cheap, going over to Objective 3. Now, this is a mistake I see a lot of people do. There's no need to send Dervishes over to Objective 3 just yet. You still have 2 minutes before they can capture it, so it's just dead gold, kind of waiting there at the moment, and not really doing anything. Whereas I feel that if you commit to the main fight with them, then you can pull them out later and go to Objective 3. I do like this play if you've got like a load of slow elite infantry that you want to go on an objective. You can certainly send them that way nice and early. Now, the Patriarch needs to pop all its buffs, so it looks like the Battle Hymn of Thor has gone down, doing some nice work on these warbears, so should be able to chew through a lot of the spawn and so forth, but Nurgling's honestly going to be a little bit squishy, and there's plenty of healing from Nurgle, and oh, that is disgusting! The Soul Grinder of Nurgle is popping shots down at the Warbear Riders, doing some nice damage from on top of his dome here, and slowly whittling down at the Kislev forces from afar, which is some play I like quite a bit. Likewise, we have Dervishes on the left-hand side, and more Dervishes, so it really looks like Linksy likes these kind of cheap, fast, mobile units. We saw a lot of Hounds last game, and it does work as a good tactic. I think early on, people thought they were going to be really powerful like this, but you don't have no staying power, and like Nurglings will grind through Dervishes. He still has a minute to get over here as well, and the Horsemen won't capture objectives super crazy fast. Now in the middle, it looks like we have Winged Lancers have arrived. They do come with a big flank charge, but look at this. Fleshy Abundance goes down on the spawn. They're all getting healed up, and the Warbears are just grinding. Yeah, they're getting probably pretty decent damage. And you can see on the damage fin, though, Nurgle's done even more damage than Kislev so far. And I think the Warbears need to pull out of this, bring in some infantry to kind of carve up the Nurglings, because Warbears aren't designed really to clear mass waves of chaff. War Sleds have arrived, though. I like this pick quite a bit. Should be enough to pull through some of the Plague Bearers and Nurglings that we have in this middle fight. On the far side, though, the Soul Grinder, the Chaos Furies, and all the Nurglings are starting to arrive. And the poor Dervishes, you're not going to stand much of a chance. They are going to flee, which is definitely the best bet here. They're still money at the end of the day, and you don't want to throw them away for nothing. They could push Objective 3, which is currently looking like it is going to get held by Kislev. So you just move those guys down into the middle, try to help clear through the chaff here, and it does look like Linksy's starting to fight back a little bit in the middle, getting a nice surround with Winged Lancers. He does also have Constantine in here now, and the Light War Sleds up to only 3 kills, but they're doing some decent HP damage to the Nurglings, and this objective is bouncing between the two. Very close fight, but the Warbears are going down, and that is a big, big loss. Looks like the other unit of Warbears is also starting to struggle. Constantine needs to try to fight his hardest in the center where possible. Winged Lancers trying it, but it looks like, oh no, Kislev's actually capturing the center, then Nurgle's capturing the center, very back and forth there. I'd get these horses down here, and it looks like we do have some Streltsy being summoned, and some of the armored troops as well. So the fight for the middle is going to be pretty crucial, as it often is with Nurgle. Objective 3 is going into the hand of the Dervishes, and Kislev up in the skies, though, on number 1. Nurgle just reigns supreme. Look at this, we've got the old Slug Lady, the Beast of Nurgle, starting to move out to Objective 1 as well. She looks pretty horrifying. She has some crazy animations where she, like a Nurglin, will come out of her belly and like go up into her mouth and stuff. It's really horrible. So Nurgle have had a fantastic start. That they are actually losing the central objective here, so Linksy may take an early lead, with the caps, possibly, but at what cost, right? His warbears are looking very beat up now. Constantine's looking very healthy, and the war sled's done decent work here. It is still neutral at the moment. Can this unit of Forsaken stop the cap? It looks like they can't quite. They're so close to stopping the cap here, but more sleds coming in, more wing lancers, and the Royal Patriarch, and more warbears coming back. It should be going into the hands of Lynxie here, who is going to get a nice early 2 cap to 1 advantage. Chaos Fury's been caught out trying to jump the Streltsy and instead getting obliterated by the armored Corsairs there, who were pretty solid utility unit. These guys need to get moving forward and get the Streltsy shooting in. And it seems like the Herald and Nurgle, no, the Herald and Nurgle's doing fine. I mistook his HP bar for Warbears. And Nurgle have committed a decent amount of forces to this top objective. You can honestly just leave like 1 unit of Nurglings here and just move everything down. And we're going to get the dreaded Nurgling flank attack, which takes quite a while. Soul Grinder Nurglings can start to pour into the middle, which is currently being held now by Kislev and Lynxie going into the lead here. Although Objective 3 is currently guarded by no one. 1 unit of Nurglings trotting over there, I think, would be quite a nice pick. Warbears continue to scrap. Looks like they've done a decent damage. Now they've got rid of those pesky summons. Forsaken going to be a problem. Light War Sleds are doing a decent job. Likewise, the Patriarch and the Warbears continue to scrap and fight. Herald of Nurgle is a foot troop, though. So the Warbears aren't going to do fantastic against them. It looks like both the cultists here are going fighting over the dead corpses of many a warbear, trying to take down Constantine, who keeps getting flattened on his ass. He is protected by a unit of warbears, and it looks like Nurgle starting to claim the central objective, with Forsaken being spawned in, and a load of Nurglings coming from this flank. It could be a little bit scary. Beast of Nurgle is getting lit on fire by the Streltsy here, who do unfortunately take a big pounding from the Defiler. Where is the Defiler? Oh my god, it's so far away, but it's doing some good work. Looks like Nurglings are just being used to pin in some of the reinforcements. I love this play. And in comes the Frost Maiden, which again, beautiful play there by Lynxie. It's going to be a nice counter to all of this cheap infantry, particularly the Nurglings. Get some big burst damage going down on them. Streltsy continue to pour in the fire, and they're a very cool unit in general. I know a lot of people know them from Age of Empires. It's the fact they've got axes on the end of the guns, which really does it for me, and they're trying their best here to whittle down the Beast of Nurgle. Might also unleash some shots towards the Soul Grinder, but in come the Nurglings. They form balls of Nurgly painful death, and they're just going to clatter into the Streltsy, who can fight them and should be able to defeat them in combat. It's going to be very squishy, though, and we have more Light War Sleds trying their hardest. We're going to get a big Area of Effect spell come in. Looks like Constantine does go down again. Bringing on a bear, he'd be so much more tanky. In comes the Heart of Winter. It's going to slow these troops, and they're Nurgle. They don't need to be slowed any more than they already are. They're going to be taking significant damage, but it looks like Darv is able to move out of the way. And they got Forsaken here, and Forsaken aren't slowed by any means, so it does look like Nurgle are able to wrestle control out of the hands of Kislev and Lynxie. Objective 3, though, is still rather Kislev favoured, and Objective 1 going to be turning maybe to the Force of Red and the Dervishes here of Lynxie. Furies are on their way. Furies cannot cap, but they might be able to stop the Dervishes, because Dervishes, as I said before, are basically peasants. So they're not good fighters at all. More Light War Sleds have been summoned. The Frost Maiden is still going strong in the middle. Nurgle dominate in the middle battlefield. Streltsy, with their mighty war axes, are slowly carving their way through the Nurglings, though. It looks like the Nurglings are actually going to get a heal. Or it might be an air effect here, which is quite nice. Frost Maiden needs to be careful, because the Beast of Nurgle is coming in deep. And it's just, oh, look at that. Look at those beautiful belly dance moves there. I think she's actually trying to push through and get into the back, then does turn to try and engage the Frost Maiden. More armored troops are moving up. Got a decent amount of infantry here for Kislev coming into the main fight. It does look like Constantine has managed to rally himself, which is pretty good. But Nurgle, once they sit on an objective, my god, are they a sticky pain in the butt to get off. Though it's still not over yet. Relatively even on tickets. Very impressive Lynxie. I think it's been his best performance so far. The Frost Ice, oh, is it Frost Maiden? Yeah, Frost Maiden of Ice still alive in there. Constantine can come back into the action. We have more Streltsy being brought in. Objective 1, no, he's so close to capturing it, but the Dervishes cannot stand before the might of the Furies, who of course are rather furious at the Dervishes being here. Looks like they're going to break just before they're able to really cap it, about halfway cap there. Darv responds as well by Nurglings being sent over though, which I think is a really clever pick. Lynxie probably wants to leave these forces down here that he has to apply pressure to Objective 2, and all his other reinforcements need to go capture Objective 1, and then it'd be in a great space, because against a Nurgle, I found going for Objective 3 and 1 can often be better than contesting the middle on some maps. Some maps, Nurgle have like a real close home objective, and it's a nightmare to try and actually get in there and hold. Constantine does go down, unfortunately. The wrath of the Herald of Nurgle, who's quite a powerful lord in general, was too problematic for him. Looks like Nurglin's about to eat something. It is a Heart of Winter coming down onto all the Nurglings, who are trying to deal with the armored troops of Kislev. More troops are starting to push through towards the central objective to attempt to cap it, and the Frost Maiden is in the middle as well, up to so far 36 kills, but rising rather quickly as the Furies also jump in to the Heart of Winter. Not the best play there, as they're going to be taking bucket tons of damage. It really does add up the Heart of Winter. It's one of my favourite spells from Kislev in general. Streltsy are laying on thick. They're doing a load of damage, but they're not capping the objective, though. It looks like Kislev slightly sneakily starting to capture that. If these armoured Corsairs can really get in there, and some more Streltsy, maybe there's a chance yet for the forces of Kislev. Objective 1 is secured by Nurgle. Objective 3, currently in the hands of Kislev, is about to be shut down. We have double Plague Toads dancing over there. No, we have Plague Toads and Pox Riders. Oh, hell yes. I love the Pox Riders. They hippity-hop their way into battle. They just look fantastic. Though I do feel like they do a rather similar job to the normal Totemer boys, and a bit more expensive. Though I guess they do the job a bit better. Streltsy have formed a nice firing range on the top here, just unleashing shots into Nurgle. You can see the Beast and Nurgle going to be going down, and as far as damage dealt concerned, it's incredibly close. Lynxie is just behind on damage dealt to Nurgle, but this is where Nurgle shine. They're on the objective, and this is good experience play by Darth. He pushes forwards off the objective. Stop Kislev having any hope of capturing it, and then you can bring your elite units in. We have some Rotflies being summoned into the action as well to try to counter all these Streltsy who have been quite problematic for Nurgle. You can see the Beast of Nurgle's gone down. More armored troops are trying to desperately run to Objective 2 and do a bit of a cheeky cap there. Light War Sleds also coming in. Darv has now wrestled control of the tickets at the top, and he's got one unit of Nurglings up against the Dervishes. Honestly, Nurglings might even win that. The charge is going to be nasty for them, but Nurglings are so sticky, and Dervishes I've just found are very, very fragile. Looks like the force of Nurglings are still pinning in at the Corsairs here. We have Rotflies jabbing the Streltsy down. We have Wing Lancer summoned, which is quite a nice pick. They're going to be easily able to overwhelm the Chaos Furies. They are looking to go after the Soulgrinder and the Lord. I would honestly ignore the Soulgrinder and Lord at this point and just go all in on trying to capture this middle objective with just a load of infantry troops. I wouldn't even worry about going too elite right now, because I don't think it's enough time to kill the enemy Lord and Soulgrinder. They're going to do a lot of damage. You have to expect that and accept it and just try to claim the objectives instead. And with the Light War Sleds coming in, maybe there's a chance. The Frost Maiden's here as well if she can clear off these Nurglings. Streltsy, it was a nice counter pick to a lot of the Nurgle stuff, but now that Darv has got right up in their face, they are starting to struggle. Wing Lancers have been spawned to come into the action, maybe contest Objective 1, but we have Furies combined with Nurglings over here, easily going to hold down Objective 1. And number 3 is well and truly in the hands of the hippity-hoppy troops themselves, as the Plague Toads and the Pox Riders start coming in for a lovely rear attack. Look how gleefully happy these bad boys are to bring pain, death, misery, and disease to the universe. They are going straight in, and I love the Toad animations, particularly the kind of feral ones, because they use like Kung Fu kicks and stuff. I don't know if the Pox Riders do it as well, but they literally do backflips and jump over the enemy. It's really quite fun. Now, the middle objective is starting to be held once again by Kislev. They are fighting back ferociously now. Wing Lancers luring down and slamming into the enemy force. Soulgrinder is also getting dealt with, but this pesky Rotfly pay is stopping any more reinforcements coming in. It looks like the Wing Lancers are on their own, and unfortunately, it's a little bit too little too late. Even if he caps it, he needs the triple cap, and he's desperately going for it. Dervish is moving down towards Objective 3. But Nurgle taking a big advantage now in the later stages of the battle. Pox Riders and Plague Toads shut down the Streltsy. The heart of the Kislev folk starts to sink just as they're about to hold the middle objective, with bodies strewn across the battlefield. The heart of Kislev breaks, and they go down. Very well played to Lynxie, very well played to Darv. Easily Lynxie's best game of the tournament. A true champ coming in there and fighting to the bitter end. But what can men do against such reckless Darv? It is not many can stand in the Screamer Face's way, particularly when he's playing like this, coming in with a very, very impressive performance as well. 1.6k value on the Herald of Nurgle, which I think is a very underrated pick. I think Herald of Nurgle is pretty solid indeed. Very cheap and pretty cheerful, and I just like its durability it gives to everyone with that healing. 2.5k value on the Soulgrinder, 106 kills. Beautiful play coming in by the big boy. You saw how much damage it did just sitting on that ridge and firing in. Very mobile as well, which is something Nurgle need. 1.9k and 1.6k on the Cultist and Nurgle. I think if Constantine is on the Warbear, they basically get no value, because most of their value came from just beating him up. 1,000 value on the Spawn, 660 and 720 on the Nurglings. As for the rest of the build, how did our glorious Pox Riders do? 100 damage, but they did get brought in late, didn't really get in on the action. I love Darv's Rotfly play. Like, when he managed to push up Kislev, like, all the way back to their choke point, he had a good dominant performance there. Beasts and Nurgle didn't do too much. They kind of got obliterated by the Streltsy, which was quite a nice counter. The Forsakens of Nurgle, though, 1.6k and 945 damage value. Oh, lol, that's horrible stuff. Furies did pretty good. 700 and 860 value. Nurgling's just very sticky. Constantine on foot, 978 value. The Warbears, 1.3k and 1.8k. Pretty impressive. Patriarch, 962. The Dervishes, they're a fast capture, like, are going to flood to an objective, but they just don't have much staying power. The Streltsy, 460, 1,100, 760 value, 630 to put in a decent display. It was quite a slow build apart from the Dervishes though. 700, 800, and 770 value from the armored troops. Frost Maiden was a lovely pick with some good casts though. 77 kills, 1,180 damage value is no joke. War Sleds, 730 and 960 value. Winged Lance as well performing absolute heroics, trying to like dive in to the objective. Certain death, knowing they're going to die, but they are happy to die in the name of Kislev to get some victory. Trying to bomb rush that middle objective time and time again. 1.2k value, but alas, not quite enough to seal the deal. Well played to these lads. Was an awesome game. Darv comes in with the plagued quack. The plagued quack. Yes. Yes, yes. I munched up not pitting it on the Warbear. Oh yeah, the Warbear would have been super nice, man, but that was your best game. That was your best game for sure. With the combat mechanic, you can afford to bum a bit of time, then spawn in a big wave. Yes, you don't have to, like, spawn in little bits, and that was kind of Lynx's mistakes in the first two games. He made up for it in this game, and brought in a load of Streltsy at the right time. At the right time. Thank you to the mods as well. You guys have been heroes in chat, helping manage everything. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying, feel free to like and subscribe and all that good standard YouTube-y stuff. Also, everyone playing today is a content creator. Darv Plays. If you don't know who Darv is, I don't know where you've been for the last, like, 2 years or whatever. But Darv Plays, fantastic YouTube channel. Go check him out. Lynxy also does a lot on Twitch and streams. I believe he also has YouTube. We then have Logic coming in as well, and Mercy the Mad, who are both YouTubers. I think you find them at Logic_EU, and then just Mercy the Mad. I mean, Mercy Mad Total War will pop up. But yes, yes. That was awesome stuff. Over 400 people watching as well. Oh, I love it. You don't use your mobility and don't find the point you lose. You definitely need to find points. Mobility is useful. It's not quite the be-end end-all that we thought it was gonna be, because elite infantry, you stick them on like an objective and like, okay, you're gonna send a load of dervishes towards me, they're just gonna die and not do anything. So it's there's a bit of give and take for it. Let's open up the next one with Galleon's Cove, which is probably my favorite map. It's got these 2 raise points, and let me quickly message the guys. I think we have like 2 minutes till Mercy should be ready. No worries. No, I just received a message from Turin. He was possibly going to play, but I think he only just woke up. No worries. I may get you in instead of Mercy if he doesn't show up in the next 5 minutes. Go. I got to back up just in case Mercy can't make it. He was going to finish his stream at 7:30. It is now 1 minute to 7:30. So we're going to give him like 4 or 5 minutes to hop in. If he doesn't hop in, we'll hopefully get Balsi in if he wants to play. Balsi, a freaking awesome player. He needs to believe in himself a little bit more because he is quite the scary multiplayer player. And the other player will be Logic. We'll give Mercy some time because he may well be able to play. May well indeed be able to play. We love you, Darv. We definitely do. Wicked D. You said it better than we could have said it there. Quack, quack. Yes. Yes, Lord. Literally, you're pinning on your, like, the head there. Like, trickling units is good if you're already winning the objective, or it's very contested in the middle. You need to, like, get units there as quickly as possible. But you need, like, otherwise, if you're on the back foot, you don't want to trickle in units. You want to build up an army, then go in. It's really hard to do that, though, because you're kind of sitting back like, you know, I'm losing. Like, what do? I need to get objectives now. I need to get them quickly, but you can definitely come around. Mercy's still streaming a new bow. No worries, we can replace him with Balsi. Yes. On top end. Cool. We'll see if we can get young Mercy in. If Balsi wants to jump in, we can load him in. Because I think Logic, our spy Logic, has said that Mercy doesn't look like he's ready. I'm going to create a new lobby quickly because there was a bug before where if you were in spectator mode too long, it desynced the game. So we're just going to pop back up in. And I think we're on to Galleon's Cove was the idea. So Logic, if you're watching, please do feel free to join. And Balsi as well, because I don't think Mercy's going to make it. I'm not, don't lie to your community, I suck at my player. Balsi, it's a lie, I've played you. I have played you. Does Rampage make Lizman problematic in domination? Not too much because you got cold-blooded, which is quite nice. Love the stream, thank you. I love you guys watching. How strong-blooded corpses from Vampire Coast will be in domination. I think they could be kind of hilarious, but like maybe useful. If you got a unit of like really elite infantry, like Khorne warriors with halberds holding an objective down to send a bloated corpse over, they're pretty slow though. So it's not as though like it's a surprise, you know, when they arrive. It's like, oh, there's a bloated corpse coming. I should probably leave now. But I think they could be funny and maybe quite good at clearing objectives. What's new in my player other than the domination mode? I guess like. Is there 6 or 7 factions? 6 or 7 factions, like brand new factions, pretty much. Happy Puppy! Woof woof, how's it going? Hello, hello. Hope you're all good in the hood. Long while no see, long time indeed. So, let's see if Mercy's ready. Oh. Oh, Mercy's on his way. Awesome. I think Mercy's on his way. Thank you, Balsi, for the heads up. Let's drop a message. Mercy. Lobby is up, bro. Send me blind pics. Mercy. And Logic. So hopefully Mercy's on his way. Apparently he's watching the stream. So hopefully he will be joining in just a second and we can get this going. Let's change the scoreboard over while we think about it. Do you still have slots? No, Hyper. We're just doing a 4-man, like, flash tournament, basically. Death Runners are going to be really nice in domination for sure. Summons cannot capture objectives, though, which is the problem, but it's still very nice for Skaven. Summon in front of objectives would be very powerful. Mercy's on his way. Awesome. Yeah, and Blow Corps are pretty cheap, so I think they're going to be good objective clearers. Just came from there. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Galleon's Cove is going to be the map. Let me quickly update the score. We will be seeing Darv again, the Mighty, the Majestic, in the finals, but he does leave there with the 2-0. Plus, he did win the third game we did just while we were waiting for the Mad Lad himself. And let's change this round quickly. We have the Mighty Mercy on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, we have Logic. Both these guys, this is like the pupil versus the master situation. This is some real Star Wars stuff. So, Mercy is a dominant campaign streamer, a very talented player, but he delved his feet into Warhammer 2 multiplayer towards the end of my player as we ran an event called Teach Me Total War, and Logic was actually his teacher, and since then Mercy has still been continuing to play multiplayer and has played Warhammer 2 multiplayer against me a few times and on my team a few times, and he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. He can be pretty scary for sure. What's up, Curved Bubbles? I hope you're doing all good today. Curved Bubbles is going to be hosting some tournaments, I believe, into Total Warhammer 3, which I'm hoping to get involved with. They should be very exciting. Just loading in. No worries, man. Take your time, dude. Take your time. Yes, domination can be 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4. But you cannot do 4v4 plus have a spectator in, which kind of sucks. But yeah, 2v2s and 3v3s. 2v2 is so good fun. It's insane. You have like 40 units on the battlefield for each army. Because in 2v2s, I found that both factions are a little bit more conservative, but also a little bit more tanky. Because you're supporting each other. No one wants to go for these big, like, just kind of grindy brawls. And it means that you normally get, I think both times me and Tisty teamed up against Turn and Darv, I think we got like at least 30 units on the battlefield every time or more. Right. Let's see the blind picks. Yes, thank you, Battlesea, by the way, for saying he would step in if need be. Awesome. Glad you are here. What is your blind pick? See what Mercy wants to play. And Logic, let's see what you wanted to play. Awesome. I expected nothing less from Logic. Logic's been one of my main training partners since he's got his grubby little hands on the game. And yeah, he loves the faction he's picked. He loves it very much. Very much. Yeah, he can't play ogres, unfortunately. Hey, Quack, how you doing? I'm doing great, Matthew. How are you doing today? What's up, guys? Hey, Rabbit says Lazy Boy Gamer. Hello, hello. Logic must secure the high ground. See, Swiss Pikeman is a man of class and culture. I've said this for a long time, and it is kind of well known. Well known that he's a classy fellow, and he seems to have learnt the ways of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm very excited about the TV show that's going to be coming out for that. Oh, well, don't worry. Once Tzeentch comes out, you'll be seeing all kinds of Tzeentch games, I'm sure. Yeah, I will at some point, Jesse, do some standard battles. Honestly, I just have no footage of them, which is the problem. I was like, oh yeah, I can do some land battles. Some people want land battles. I can do a couple. And I've just not played any, like, really that much, because everyone playing the game at the moment's kind of, they tried Domination and then got hooked on it, and now everyone's, like, running around training on it, so there will be land battles in the future. There is a chance I will host tournaments and land battles at some point. I think almost all my competitive tournaments will be domination mode, and then maybe we'll do one build battle royales and stuff on land. Where's Norska, Doug? I know. I demand Norska. I demand Norska. Let's see what Mercy is going to go for. Let's see what he is picking. I know what Logic's on. He's stuck on Khorne right now, but I don't think he's playing Khorne. Maybe he's just contemplating which faction he wants to go for. The Quacta Kingdoms DLC will be the best DLC? Oh, hell yeah. I keep, like, jokingly, if I ever, like, see someone in CA in my chat, I'm just like, oh yeah, it'd be kind of crazy, right? If CA added in a duck faction, that would never happen, ha ha ha, right? I, like, kind of a hint in, like, hey guys, maybe we should add a duck faction into the game. Like, oh, I'm only joking, unless I'm not joking, unless you know you want to do it seriously. So we will see. Mercy, if you are listening to the stream, answer me on Discord. There's no chat box in game at the moment, annoyingly. There used to be, and then it disappeared. I don't know why they took it out. Maybe they were fixing something about it. So we're just waiting to see what Mercy wants to play, and then we will hop into the game. Luckily, it seems to take a lot less time to build the builds, which is quite good. Oh, don't worry. Logic's not playing Kislev. So you're going Khorne. Cool. It's a Khorne mirror. Oh, dear God. It is a Khorne mirror. So please choose different color schemes. Both best of three is kicking off with mirrors. I love to see it. No worries. It is a Khorne mirror. You love to see it. Khorne v Khorne action. Blood for the blood god. This is going to be ridiculous. This is going to be dumb as hell. It's going to be so much death. Oh my god, this changes up everything. No one practices mirrors as well, but I guess in the blind pick, you kind of have to pull out the bag a little bit. I'm very interested to see how they approach this, because the hound play you often see of Khorne might not be good. If they just go... I think the dual weapon Khorne-like warriors might be solid here. They might be really solid. This mixes up so much stuff, though. This is going to be very interesting. They've both gone on the same color scheme for some reason. Guys, don't kill me like this. Please. Please. I took black colors. Awesome. Let's just say logic. Go red. Well, hopefully he will see that and switch it up. Before we start, I'll make sure they switch colors so it's not quite so grating. Scarbrand's here. He's like, yeah, this is how it should be. I reckon your boys are going to win. Oh, Scarbrand might be amazing in this matchup. Think about it. Scarbrand would beat the living crap out of any other Bloodthirster. He'd beat up any other Lord. He'd do fine against Minotaurs and horses. Halberds will be his problem, but if you don't fight on Halberds, Scarbrand might be a beast. Might be a beast. Oh, this is blood for the blood god. This is about as bloody as we can get. Human Boy also has cats. Does Human Boy have cats? I'm assuming he does. Yeah, it's Valkynos who has doggos. I'm not allowed to live with pets, unfortunately. Where I am currently. I used to grow up with dogs, obviously. I still have my little dog back at home. Scarbrand reaps skulls, death and destruction shall follow. Oh, hell yeah. Smorton. Smorton. I love it. He says, I was going to make a joke about this matchup, but it was too corny. Ho ho ho. As a connoisseur of the dad pun myself, I approve, good sir. Disciple of Tzeentch. One, I love the name. There's notice. If you're a person who prefers strength rather than brain cells, Khorne is for you. Khorne is a real, like, I'm going to punch you really hard in the face and then swarm the objectives of infantry. And what are you going to do about it type faction? I think they're going to be the easiest to learn for new players, and I highly recommend picking them up when you play. Are there any rules for the tournament? Yeah, it's best of 3 semi-finals, best of 5 final, blind picks. And that's it. That's it. You tell me you don't have a duck. I do have a load of rubber ducks, if that counts. Like, a worrying amount of rubber ducks have started to accumulate. It kind of started as a joke, and then people actually started just getting me ducks for my birthdays and Christmas, and I have a lot of ducks. So, I have a load of rubber ducks, but that is it. I've been very tempted to get a goldfish and call it Swim Shady, and just have it as, like, a middle finger to my landlords, who are like, oh, you can't have pets? I'm like, I've got a goldfish. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I prefer Sword of Cane sugar in my soda rather than corn syrup. Oh no. What have we done? What have we done? We've opened the pun door. Death Runners are going to be the best unit for domination. Death Runners are going to be awesome. Now, the problem with Skaven. So, Skaven, fantastic swarm potential. Load of cheap troops. Load of Vanguard troops. Mortars, going to be crazy. Not the best sticking power to actually hold the objectives once they, you know, if the enemy actually catches up with them. So that's going to be the price for it, which is a nice kind of like way of balancing it. But the Council Guard, I think, are going to be like disgustingly good. That many unbreakable infantry troops sitting on objectives, oh, it's going to be a nightmare. That's why I think there's quite a lot of hope for Counts and Coast, despite them being so slow. Also, on an objective, good luck trying to get them off. Kind of similar to Nurgle. And you saw Darv play Nurgle. Again, Darv, you know, you're expecting good play from him. Just, once he takes initiative, once he wins the middle, I'm going to push forward and pin you back and try my best. I did see someone saying, like, just always camp someone's spawn. No, please do not do that. It does not work. I've tried, and I've seen the reaction to it. In fact, actually, I think it's a better tactic if you are starting to get camped. I'll probably do a video on it. I'm not going to spoil too much. And Tisty had a rather interesting video that I'm going to ask if I can cast over of a very strange and dark and twisted evil tactic. Yes, yes. Puns for the pun, Dad. Oh, God. The Pandora box has opened. I might just end the stream, guys. Nah, I love it. Keep them coming. Keep the puns coming. You feel like Skaven single entity blob is a good start? 100% wicked. Like, big single entity blob and then a load of cheap troops afterwards. I just realized dire wolves are going to be disgusting. Like, disgusting. Unbreakable doggos who can cap objectives. Ugh. Yeah, dire pack's going to be very good. And scurvy dogs. So, we do have a Scarbrand, only one. The other player's gone for Herald of Khorne. Oh, we have the double lawnmowers! I think it was Turin who dubbed these guys lawnmowers, and I can't get out of my head now. This is going to be fun. That would be the greatest spin of all time, Mito, if the Slanesh bots we have that come in and are like, oh, hot babes in your area, if they started coming in and like adapting, like, oh, corny babes in your area, I would respect the bots a lot more. Oh yeah, Stormver meta all the way. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Right, for the forces of Mr. Logic, he has heard the battle cries of Skarbrand in chat, and he summons him to the field of battle. The chaddest of all chads, Skarbrand the sexy and the mighty, coming in with not too many items, I don't think. He has the Rage embodied. It does rampage everyone around him. Much like Warhammer 2, though, they have to be below a certain amount of HP before that rampage kicks in. Don't want to use that too early. And he has Slaughter and Carnage, a lovely attack buff there to base weapon damage and armor-piercing weapon damage. That is passive, and it's the more kills he gets. We then have triple Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds, only really good to counter Bloodthirst and stuff, which I think Skarbrand does already, but still a decent start in pool here. Double Cultist of Khorne as well for those summons. Really good starting build coming in. And this is my favorite map. Look at the glorious. You can see like the boats out in the distance, the giant skulls of long-deceased Dreadsaurians or other large creatures. And let's see what Mercy the Mad has in store from him. So the Madman himself, Mr. Mercy, is coming in with a load of Chaos Warriors of Khorne, once again with Halberds. They're going to do very good against Skarbrand. Though he can still find them for a while, because he's going to beat the living snot out of the rest of these units. We have double Coast of Khorne coming in with the summons. We then have double Blood Shrine of Khorne. Rock and roll, baby. This is like the Mad Max, the demonic version of Mad Max in all its splendor and glory. Going to be very good anti-infantry. And who's this cheeky little chap? It is a Herald of Khorne once again on one of the Blood Shrines. And he's coming in with the Hellblade, increasing his base weapon damage and armor piercing, is enabled if he gets more than 80 kills. And that, oh my god, that can become very powerful. He has a Gore Feast as well, passive to increase his HP. He has the Totem of Endless Bloodletting, again, melee attack and leadership buff, and Revel in Slaughter, yet another buff. Pretty excited to see how this one goes. Pretty excited to see how it goes. Who's your money on, lads? Do you think Logic's going to win, or do you think Mercy is going to hold firm? We'll have to see. This is a Target brand. Oh god, Romulan, you have arrived. Hope you're doing good, man. I haven't seen you in quite some time. I hope you're all good in the hood and excited for Warhammer 3. I expect Solar Bastiladons and Stegodons to be great in domination. Yeah, any long-range artillery which is mobile and can like sit on an objective and shoot to a different objective is going to be very scary and powerful stuff indeed. Very scary and powerful. So you can see up the top here the units on the battlefield and units remaining in reserve. So Mercy Mad has overall 27 units. Logic gone far more elite here, actually. Well, 24, so not that much more elite, I suppose, at the end of the day. Very excited for this, though. Very excited. Surprise, no Exalted Bloodletters. Yeah, that's a shout. Bloodletters would be really good in this matchup with their AP. They would slaughter all of the Warriors of Khorne, actually. That is a great shout. I think they've both missed a trick there. I guess Mercy's hoping that his Bloodshines do the job. I don't know if these guys are waiting for me. If so, they do not need to wait. It's very quick to go through armies. Oh, so they have started. When a Temple Guard needs to get their teeth straightened out, they go to the Pterodontist. Wicked, you're a mad lad. You're a mad lad. I will give you that. You're a mad lad, and I love it. So, the forces of Khorne going to be advancing, of course, of both sides. Skarbrand the Exiled. Very excited to see how he does. If he can isolate any of the Blood Shrines, he's going to beat the snot out of them. There's a lot of them, though, so it's a lot of single entities versus the one. He definitely still wants to fight with his own troops. And it looks like both players going for Objective 1 and 2 and kind of ignoring Objective 3 for now, which is absolutely fine. Mercy is kind of holding back with all the Blood Shrines, the Herald of Khorne, and all his Hero Corps, and just advancing a little bit with the Chaos Warriors, including the Chaos Warriors of Halberds, which maybe just waiting to see which way Logic goes for committing, because you don't even have to fight in the first 3 minutes. None of the objectives can be claimed. You can kind of sit back, study your opponent, figure out the best strategy before starting to advance and move in here. Skarbrand's going to float over to Objective 2, just get a nice early claim on it, and it looks like we have one Cultist of Khorne leading a Legion of Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds up to Objective 1, while the center going to be a bit more dominant, double Halberds, plus Cultists, plus Skarbrand going to the center. It looks like Mercy does summon his first unit in, and it's a Skull Cannon, a very nice pick. He's going to try to go up onto the high ground here. I love doing this. If you saw my recent replay of Crane Gunners, and they can like contest the middle objective, but I don't know the range of a Skull Cannon. Is that going to reach? 380 should reach to the middle, I would think, and that'd be a really good counter to the Halberds of Mr. Logic, who has yet to summon in. Oh no, he has summoned in a unit, and it is a Bloodletters. Lovely pick. Lovely pick. We were just talking about these guys in chat, and Bloodletters, Armor Piercing, will slaughter Chaos Warriors. I like that quite a bit. Now, Skarbrand's got to be careful. The Hell Cannon is on the approach there. It's most likely going to aim for the infantry. Oh, pretty decent shot there. I just realized there is some supplies here. That was something I mentioned to CA about. I was like, it'd be so cool if you had like a corpse holding a tome or a chest or something in the middle of these points to make them a bit more thematic, or have like a little camp or something. I think would be really quite cool. Khorne is going to try to fall back to the edge of the zone to get out of range of the Skull Cannon, but this unit is facing the wrong way. Oh, it is missed though. Skull Cannon, not the most accurate at super long range. It's very mid-range unit, and it looks like Mercy being quite patient here. He's getting all his blood shrines together, summoning in more units. Another Skull Cannon's being brought in to try to contest the middle, but the Skull Cannons, their long range not being super useful right now. And this is really clever play by Logic. Look at this. Chaos Warriors of Khorne just waiting outside the shot blocker, and this is why I think this game mode would work really well for 40k, like a total 40k, because people are so worried about like mass range being OP. There's like big shot blockers and stuff. It can work quite well. Now, Mercy's going to commit, it looks like, all of his forces to Objective 1, and Logic is going to fight back. He summoned some more exalted bloodletters onto the field. Oh, hell yeah. Bad to the bones, elite bloodletters. The marks of Khorne infused in their heads to show their loyalty. Gonna be quite nasty. He's also capping Objective 3, so even if he just pulls back from Objective 1, he doesn't actually need to hold it. It looks like some bloodletters have been summoned as well by the cultists quite early. They could get run over here by the blood shrine. So it looks like Mercy does pull back a little bit there. And bloodletters are now going to be able to engage the halberds, which, as you can see, instantly is a terrible fight for the halberds. But with all the war shrines coming in, doing their old 360 pop wheelies, they should be able to get rid of this summon relatively quickly, I would think. But I like this play still by Logic, because it's pinning all these units in place and keeping them distracted while he caps Objective 1, 2, and 3. Oh, baby, a triple. We have the big fat triple cap. Chaos Warhounds are trying to move over to contest Objective 3. Not going to go well with Bloodletters nearby. Bloodletters can simply contest this quite a lot. So the Warhounds not going to be able to do too much, I don't think, against the Bloodletter summon. Looks like, for the most part, though, Mercy is starting to run over that summoned unit, but it has forced the triple cap. The poor little cultist there of Khorne is just getting destroyed, and now this force can move up and start to engage with Objective number 1. It's a rather nasty death blob by Mercy, but it does mean he's lacking a little bit in the mobility. More halberds have been brought in, as well as some Chaos Warhounds. Unfortunately, there's not that much in terms of bloodletters coming in from him, and that can be very problematic. Now, this is a little cheeky play you can do. Mercy, if he gets other Warhounds here, and Logic doesn't check over, because he's like, oh, I have the objectives. You can actually hide both the Warhounds behind the bloodletters and cap the objective without actually having to fight them, because so much of Logic's forces currently tied up here on Objective 2 in the middle. Scarbrand not able to get into combat yet. It's been a little bit of a tease for us, as we've got to kind of wait to see his carnage. Now, the Skull Cannon's moving into combat. We have the Heralds of Khorne. We have a lot pushing in onto the Halberd units, who in theory are good against a lot of this. But still, they're being choke pointed out here, and the Exalted Bloodletters about to move into combat, wielding their mighty swords, two-handed style. They're going to cleave so much here. I really love, I think it's a very smart army pick here, coming in with the Bloodletters, and look at the damage coming in. Mercy, though, a lovely little drive-by with the Skull Cannon, going to be running over a load of the Exalted Bloodletters, doing some pretty decent damage there, and it does look like Logic's forces will eventually be kind of getting destroyed here by just a mass pain in the arse that are the Skull Cannons, as well as the Glorious Lawnmowers. Though Logic does respond with some Minotaurs coming in. They're going to do some decent job pinning the enemy in place. Dominant performance so far. Now, the Warhounds getting a little bit cheeky. We're able to start to cap this objective. It looks like Logic has cottoned onto it. He's brought Scarbrand after this. He's up to 12 kills, but only chasing down Chaos Warhounds. Elsewhere, Flesh Hounds are being brought in to force off the Warhounds of Mercy at the Mad, who's still trying to slog uphill to get Objective 1, and it is just not going too well for him, because the Minotaurs have been brought in. They are great weapon Minotaurs as well, anti-large, and we do finally have some Mercy of the Mad's forces pushing into the objective. It is still, though, being held by Logic, and this is why blobbing isn't always necessarily the best play, because they can be pinned in by a few good units. Just have some Minotaurs in here, and we want to see these blood shines kind of roasting at the second section, as now we have Flesh Hounds of Logic also coming in for that rear attack, bounding up the field, hunting down the Chaos Warrior Halberds and feasting upon their souls. They're trying their best, bless them, but Flesh Hounds will eventually lose to the Halberds here. If we have the big final army faction ability for Khorne from Logic drop down here. That would be devastating work. It does look like Objective 1, though, will be starting to getting claimed by Mercy. And remember, this entire time, he's going to be receiving a lot more resources than Logic is. And there's only one unit guarding Objective number 3. A few units guarding Objective 2, though. I like this. Still keeping a solid base here. I think Logic knows he's going to lose Objective 1. But the longer he can hold it, just the better for him. And now he can kind of withdraw his forces back to 2. He hasn't committed too much to the fight for capture point number 1. So, Mercy's big blob is very scary. What he needs to do now is leave probably one unit of halberds here and maybe a hell cannon, and he needs to push down onto Objective 2 because it's gone to the point where he's going to at some point need to triple cap Logic to get into this game. And it looks like we may start to get the big fight that we want starting to emerge here down in the center, as we do have Mercy coming in with a soul grinder of Khorne looking to hunt down the enemy, and the bloodletters of Mercy the Mad are getting in there, in addition to the pain to the cultist as well, who I believe is trying to do a last second summon before he goes down, maybe? Oh, that's Mercy summon some Bloodlayers. Interesting. Okay. Summon some Bloodlayers, and he's starting to push it towards the middle. We have a load of Flesh Hounds coming in. Objective 1's looking pretty tasty. He's got a decent amount of force as well up here on Objective 1. Looks like we have a Shrine up here, Halberds, and Basic Warriors. I quite like this, though. Logic responds. Chaos Warriors are Khorne with dual weapons, looking to push up the hill. Scarbrand finds himself a little bit isolated. He's just going to jog back to his homies and not really get engaged too much. One cultist of Khorne holding back all this army. Mercy really needs to force push his way around these kind of single entities because he's losing so heavily on tickets that he can't really afford to send an entire army to kill a cultist. He needs to be sending them onto objectives and trying to cap as quickly as possible at this point. The Chaos Warriors of Khorne are moving forward. They should do decent damage to everything that's up here, though the Blood Shrine will have a bit of a whale of a time with them. And this just slow-moving column of Khorne is starting to come after Scarbrand's Boutte. And he does get a shot in the arse, which he doesn't enjoy too much. And now the Flesh Hounds have jumped on him. Scarbrand's fallen back. He does have Halberd support. Halberds will do great damage up against the Flesh Hounds, which do count as large threats here. And it looks like it is... No! Someone did crash there. I'm not sure who did. It says a draw. I don't think that was going to be a draw there. I think Mercy may have disconnected, or Logic disconnected. Back, how many minor great weapons each? Just the one. Just the one. So someone disconnected there. I think we were going to, unless the guys want to play it again, I think we give the victory to Logic, because he was kind of steamrolling. There was a possibility for like a triple cap, but... it was so low at this point. I think Logic just had way better reinforcements. 1.7k on the Minotaurs, 720 Bloodletters. Bloodletters in general were just such a good counter to everything, even though they didn't really need to get used. He didn't even really need to use the Hounds to quick cap stuff. Whereas Mercy's forces, it was very awesome stuff. He did have Bloodletters of his own. Did get them in play. I like the double Hell Cannon Gambit. It alas did not pay off though. And I think... it looks like Logic was the one who actually disconnected there. I'm assuming his PC crashed. It's such a shame that he crashed, yeah. But it was looking very good for Logic. Some maps have 3 big lanes for sure, because you've got the objectives obviously on them. So... it was a disconnect. Okay. There was a little lag. Then Logic disconnected. We can replay if you want, or give Logic the win as he looked dominant. As he was looking pretty dominant there. Logically, he should get the W. Oh, for sure. I'm going to ask if they want to replay it for any reason they can, but I think that's... yeah, Logic gets the win if he wants to take that there. Hey, hey. What kind of tourney is this? This is a quite, like, simple Flash tournament. Just 4 players, best of 3 semis, and a best of 5 final. Yeah, he was smashing it strong. We're about to see a big brawl as well on the middle objective. Awesome. And he blind picks for game 2. So we are going to give that one to Logic. Mercy said he's happy to concede that one, as it was pretty good there, I think, looking for Logic. Move him up to number 1. We will switch the map up, and let's go the Silver Spire, the dreaded Silver Spire. Very controversial map. Kind of the only controversial map, unfortunately, out of all of them. I want more controversial maps. It's a nice set of maps as well. They're designed so freaking beautifully. That's one of my favorite changes from your normal battle, where you have to have like a flat open map, to having these kind of crazy maps with all this like shot blocking stuff. They look so dope, but there's not that many of them. We have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maps at the moment. So hopefully some more on launch, if not soon after launch. That'd be my one, like, criticism where I'm like, hey, I would like some more for sure. No worries, Mr. Hannadins. No worries at all. Good win, Logic. Yeah, Logic looked like he was doing pretty dominant there. Mercy, you had a solid build as well, bro. Mercy, you had the build, man. You just got a little bit too caught up, I think, on moving as one big blob and going after objective number 1. And then, that allowed Logic to triple cap, and then you start getting so far behind, it's hard to kind of, like, come back, you know? It was a good game, though. Good game. You got the next one, Mercy, exactly. Spartan Gaming, Toy War. Are you YouTuber Spartan Gaming? I don't know if I've seen your stuff before. If you are, I will definitely check you out. Yeah, it tends to be a little bit less cheese prone, a bit better balanced, and overall probably requires a bit more micro, at least for longer as well of the duration. Yeah, there's no need for him to commit the Lord if he doesn't need to there. Like, there's no need to pop forward. Like, just play it safe, go for the objectives. Alright, let's see what the picks are. I think we're getting some Nurgle time, baby. Logic is coming in with the juicy Nurgle. I think Mercy is going Kislev by the looks of it. He has selected them. Gonna be a good fun fight. Nurgle versus Kislev. This is a rematch. We saw Darv do this against Lynxy. Went very well for Nurgle for him. See if Logic can replicate that kind of strategy and really push Kislev off the objectives and try to dominate. This can be a tough match for Nurgle because they basically cannot capture their opponent's capture point. It's very hard for them. They're incredibly slow and it's very far away, but the advantage of that is their home objective is nice and close to home, and it's easy to protect with a couple of units of Nurgle in, so it becomes a big fight for the middle on this map a little bit more than the other maps do. Because normally against Nurgle, I like splitting Nurgle. Capture point 1 and 3, let Nurgle fight for objective 2 if you want, occasionally put some units in and distract your opponent, and Bob's your uncle, you win. But Silver Spire is a little bit harder, because Nurgle, if they can get to the middle and dominate it, are very powerful. If they cannot, though, they will certainly struggle. It's quite a long way to get to that center objective. Will Sarah do a map maker contest? That would be insanely cool, Robert. That would be insanely cool. That would be very cool indeed. Lynxy is still holding on to life, but he has lost his mind. Tzeentch has taken it for a bit. Loving the tourney so far. Thank you so much, man. It's been good fun. It's my first tournament for Warhammer 3, and I've been enjoying it. Can Kislev guns burn through Nurgle quickly? We saw against the single entities, they did good jobs when Lynxy brought like the triple Streltsy in. They did burn through them, but how would I play this as Kislev? War Slids are pretty freaking awesome in every matchup, and they can certainly drag their way through plenty of Nurglings. I like the Tempest Switch here as well, or the Frost Switch. Either way, get their big air effect spells. I think air effect spells in general are going to be a bit more powerful in this game mode, because it's way harder to dodge them. There's so much more going on in general across the map. It's hard to notice that little wind spell coming in. So I think wind spells and stuff like that could be more powerful than they are in standard battles. Because of that fact that micro is... I don't know if micro is the best way for it, but like map awareness is like so much more important, like way harder to do than basic. But I think it's also a bit easier for newer players in a way, Domination, because you kind of don't... it's kind of easy to be like, hey, we need to push forward and capture objectives. Most players I noticed on Warhammer 2 new players just sat back, and it's a really bad way to learn the game. It just gives your opponent all the initiative and all the advantage, and you just kind of get stomped a load. And I've seen a lot of that happening in Warhammer 2, particularly from campaign players who, that's how you play campaign, and it works really well, and you can play defensive, and that's how way I started playing as well. When my first ever campaign was Dwarfs, I believe. But it didn't translate well to multiplayer. Whereas this, it kind of forces you to get aggressive and then learn micro and learn a little bit quicker. Bob's your uncle? People still say this? They do in Britain, man. We cling to the old ways. We still believe in the great bear gods. Kislev versus Khorne equals slave boys versus mum's basement. Oh, Slav boys. Yeah. The old Slav. Charge, charge, charge. I demand blood and carnage. What do you think the Vampire Count versus Nurgle matchup will be like? I think it will be a lot of crying from me if I'm casting it. It will be an absolute grind fest. We've struggled to find someone who can outgrind Nurgle. Like, 2 big single entities from Nurgle with the healing is very tough. I have seen Kislev pull it off with Boris and Warbears, though. It is possible. Yeah, I would love, Robert. I haven't messaged them about it yet. But I'm gonna suggest it to CA. I don't think they'd be able to do it necessarily. There'd be a lot of resources. I think they should make a Total War Esports YouTube channel, like an official one for them, where they can host Everchosens and stuff. I would be happy to like go on and like, you can invite casters on and stuff. They would love it. It's good promo for them. Like, maybe just do a tournament like once a week, or even once every other week or something. And just have, like, you know, invite Tyrion on one week, invite Darvin the next week, and you just host, like, a mini tournament, and maybe 1 or 2 battlecasts a week. I think would help the multiplayer scene massively. Have, like, an official fin behind it, you know? But yeah, CA have definitely hit way more into the multiplayer in this game than any of their previous games, like, period, but particularly any more than any of the Total Warhammer ones. You think a magic build is good in Domination? What do you mean, Corey? Like having some mages? Yeah, mages are fantastic, for sure. Buffs are still good, debuffs are still good, air effect spells are better than they were before. Nurgle Mirror would break my heart a little bit. Terrible match will be Dwarves versus Ogres? Yeah, Mass Slaves would be a problem there. Then you got Noblars and stuff. I don't know. I actually think Dwarves might low-key be, like, quite powerful. We'll have to wait and see. I have no idea. Like, they're so much cheap tanky units though to hold objectives. It could be a pain in the butt. Anyway, let's delve into this. So, we have Mr. Logic, the logical thinking guy himself, coming in with the Nurgles. We have 4 Nurglings in the front, triple bronze chevron and 2 single silver chevron there. Looking pretty beautiful, as always. I love Nurglings. Just waving. Hello. Hello, my friend. We then have backed them up triple Forsaken of Nurgle. That's quite a decent infantry chunk off the rip, coming in with 8 units there for the mighty Logic. And we have the Plague Father himself being brought to battle with his favourite Nurglings, holding him up on his chair. And he's just a beautiful guy, up to no good, starting trouble in his neighbourhood. Coming with the Plague Father Oriation here, which is quite a nice melee defense and a leadership buff. We have the Stream of Corruption. We also have the Miasma of Pestilence, which is a lovely debuff. And then we have Fleshy Abundance. Good spells. Good cheap spells. And then the big kind of regrowth on him as well. When Overcast becomes Air of Effect, and it does not have a cap like Invocation Heck does, for example. As for the Force of Kislev, I see so many people try the bear stuff. We haven't seen it work too well today. And oh my god, this is very excessive. We have Consultine plus double Patriarch. That is an insane amount of buffs coming in. It looks like this one doesn't even have any fins on him, so just going with the triple bear cavalry characters plus double warbear riders. This is some wild stuff for sure. This is some crazy stuff. I have no idea how this is going to go for him. He does have Tor's Battle Hymn, Lullaby, as well as the Song of Winter Sunlight on Consultine, or Consultine, and the other patriarchs have... It looks like the Lullaby again for more healing, and then a completely naked Patriarch. This is a wild build for sure. I'm excited to see how it performs. He's definitely going to have to get some infantry on the field as quickly as possible as well, because the Forsaken and Nurglings will grind through the Warbears. Warbears are anti-large. They're not good against infantry in particular. Like, they can win a fight against infantry, but it's not being very cost-effective. They could have us surround the Plague Father and run him underground quite comfortably and easily. We'll have to see how it goes. All bears indeed, Rubik's Raptor. How's it going, champion? Yeah, man, he's gone for the full bears. Full bears. No, a few people play Cathay. I know Logic doesn't like playing Cathay. He's not practiced too much with them. Anticity's played a lot of Cathay. I've seen Darv do really well with a lot of Cathay. He made the Iron Dragon work really well. Hey, Mr. Duck, how you doing? I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm doing fantastic. I'm having a really good stream here. Just enjoying, like, streaming some Warhammer free stuff, finally. I haven't been able to do that many streams, because also I'm limited on what I can show, so I've been focusing on videos. Hope you guys have been enjoying them. They've been bumping. I really appreciate all the support, all the likes and stuff, and all the subscribers we've gained over the last, like, I don't know, week and a half or something since I've been able to release content. It's been really crazy. The hardcore memes. Lots of vodka. Lots of bears, man. You reckon this is going to be one-sided? I don't know, man. He bears the bears. I would like to see a little Grom as well being brought in. Because the little Grom is anti-infantry, but it does a decent amount of damage to large stuff, I realize. And let loose the Legion of Bears. Oh, they're so glorious. Honestly, whoever did the bear animation, I need to ask them to marry me at some point, because they look so freaking dope. The animations, the models, the attacks, they look, they're one of my favorite units for sure. Constantine will be leading his forces into glorious action, moving up to Objective 2. It will take Nurgle a while to get there, but this is kind of what I like, of course, about the fact you can't cap objectives immediately. Nurgle would already be behind, but they can push forward quite comfortably here. Looks like the Plague Father got rather angry at a tree and threw a Nurgle at him. And the tree stands firm, though, so I guess 1-0 to the Wood Elves so far in this battle. And Forsaken are pretty scary. They can suddenly grind through the bears. It's going to be interesting to see what Mercy brings in to counter this. It looks like it is some Corsairs. We have, it looks like some more as well, moving down to Objective 1, perhaps. They're going to take such a long time to get to the front, though. I'd like to see some War Sleds being brought in to deal with all this infantry. And then the War Bears can deal with all the single entity stuff. We could see some good cycle charging, though, coming from the War Bears as well. But I think the build from Logic does have a bit of an advantage. We'll have to wait and see how it does unfold here, because the bears are still bears at the end of the day, and bears slap hard. They do slap the Nurglings, but it's a bit of a bait by Logic as he waits for the bears to commit and then swarms in with the Forsaken. But lovely play by Mercy, just going to pull out, not taking too much damage himself, not dishing out crazy amounts either. As you can see, the Plague Father is starting to add up that damage as well on the bears, who do have the ability to heal. We still have a minute left on the clock before this objective can be claimed. And you can see Logic is going balls to the wall. Everyone onto Objective 2, not even worried about his home objective just yet. He knows he needs to force Kislev off, because Kislev, on this map, it's quite hard to play the Objective 1 and 3. It's really hard to kind of apply a bit of pressure to your opponent's one. Looks like Dervish's argument coming by Mercy Man to attempt to do that, however. And it looks like he's also going to get his home objective rather easily. He's got a unit who's just going to wait in here. This unit definitely needs to be moving towards the central objective, which is certainly going to be turning the green of Nurgle. Look how many infantry they have on the central objective. It's going to be quite tough, I think, for Mercy to dislodge them. The Warbear's going to give it a go. Maybe pulling the Warbears and Dervishes, honestly, round to Objective 3 wouldn't be the worst idea right now. And just giving up Objective 2, and then constantly using Cavalry to plummet onto Objective 3 and hold your own one. It might be worth it. It will also force Nurgle to give up Objective 2. But, because at the moment, it's not going that well for the Bear Cavalry. They're just fighting and smacking into a wall of just rotten flesh, and it's not doing the best for them. We're getting a lovely stream of corruption going down, doing some okay damage, but more importantly, it is going to heal the troops. Yeah, I think maybe pushing Objective 3 is the way to go. Objective 1 is about to be claimed by, or start to be captured here by Mercy the Mad's forces. He's also bringing in some more just lightly armored troops. These guys are very cheap, bringing them to try to cap objectives. It looks like some Plague Bearers and Nurgle being summoned by Logic. Really nice summon here, because Plague Bearers, they're slow as hell. They're the opposite as the fast as F meme that we got at the moment. They are so desperately slow, 23 speed, but to sit on a home objective, they have an absurd amount of HP, 11k HP. It is insane. Bear Cav are really struggling with this big blob of infantry in the middle. An Ice Switch would be nice right now, just to try to deal with all of this just infantry troops. Looks like the Bears are going to be trying to apply a bit of pressure onto Objective 3, which I think is probably the right play. Looks like Logic has some Plague Toads, and they are hippity-hoppity their way over to perhaps even challenge Objective number 1. More cheap troops just being brought in by Mercy at the moment, but they're going to have a hard time reinforcing any pressure on Objective 3, simply due to that Logic wants to move up here to this big swath of land right here and pin in Kislev. You don't have to sit on the objective, because it doesn't already do anything for you. You're not gaining extra tickets or anything by doing that. Plague Bearers about to receive some nasty charges coming in from the Doom Bear squad, hopping on top of the Plague Bearers and trying to rip and tear them to shreds. But we do have some Chaos Spawn on the way. Spawn of Nurgle being summoned to the battlefield by Logic. They're going to be pretty scary up against all of this. If the Bears push in, they should be able to capture this, despite the Plague Bearers being there and holding firm. And get the Dervishes on here. Objective 3 could certainly fall to the clutches of Kislev and Mercy the Mad. We do have some Streltsy being summoned and other units as well trying to force their way to the main fight. We have Furies coming over the back here, going to be supporting the Plague Toads as they try to take down the Objective 1. And can we get a Nurgle triple cap? That'd be absolutely absurd considering how slow they are. But it is certainly possible. I've seen it happen, as pushing Objective 2 right now is just not the way forward for Mercy. There's too many Forsaken here, too many Nurglings. The Plague Fire as well is not going to go down. He is starting to cap Objective 3, though, which is nice to see. Lots of Forsaken, though, and Nurglings starting to get in on the action. And if they can get on the actual capture point, infantry just is so better at capping than the cavalry, that despite the fact the cavalry are now pulling their way through the Plague Bearers, the objective is still being held by Nurgle, and it's only rising, though the Bears chewing their way through a decent amount here on the low ground. Tuners and Nurglings have been dispatched from that central objective point, looking to put down onto Objective 3, which is currently still being claimed by Nurgle. The rest of the infantry for Kislev is having to be forced a committed fight towards their home objective, which isn't what you like to see. Streltsy moving in, trying to support a little bit, but look at the Plague Toads go, using that Toad Jiu-Jitsu to flip, jump, and just mulch their way through the enemy. Their tongues look really disgusting. I hope there's some animations where they stick their tongue out and drag people into them. But it does look like the lightly armored troops of Kislev certainly starting to struggle there, holding on to Objective 1. Tickets, it is currently over a double advantage so far for Mr. Logic. We do have a load of cheap cavalry being summoned here, a decent amount of pressure being applied by the Streltsy. They should be able to claim back Objective 1, but it's going to be very time consuming, and all the while this is happening, Logic is summoning Furies just to apply so much pressure to Objective 1 as much as possible. Objective 3 is still held by Nurgle. Bear Cavalry's trying its best. Dervishes need to definitely get in here, but so many Nurglings around, and they're so sticky to contend with. It looks like the spawn will go down, so the Bear Cav may be able to capture Objective 3 off of Logic. It's his best bet at the moment, but look who it is. It is more Plague Toads being summoned to apply a bit of pressure to that objective. Objective 1 is kind of being held by Kislev, but only just at the moment. Forsaken being, or not Forsaken, Fury's being summoned to apply pressure to Streltsy here, which is quite a nice pick. The cavalry as well have been summoned, but the Plague Toads, they have been a menace in the night. Relatively quick for Nurgle troops. Should be able to jump on top of the cavalry here, and they're just, oh, the body slams, the juicy body slams, the disease, the pestilence, I love it all. And they are going to be able to overwhelm the Kislev resistance down here on objective number 1. Streltsy versus the Furies, as well as some Corsairs as well. Should do decent damage against the Furies and be able to overwhelm them eventually. More light cavalry's being summoned on the battlefield. Objective 3, though, still in the hands of Nurgle, although it's soon to go down, surely. There's only some Forsaken and Nurglings here, but it does go to show you how important infantry is, and this is why I love elite infantry in this game mode as well, to hold objectives like this. It's going back and forth at the moment. It looks like Kislev, though, do have the killing power here to start capturing Objective 3. We'll have to see what Logic does. He's got some Plague Toads coming in and some more Forsaken. I think the triple cap may hold, and Nurgle having a triple cap is disgusting. Once Nurgle gets their momentum going, they can be really hard to stop once they actually start capping the objectives, because it looks like the main way Kislev are trying to stop them is with shooting. They've got a load of arrows here, they've got guns of Streltsy, but it's such a slow method to take your opponent off the objective, and we still have that kind of double the amount of tickets right now, slightly over double the amount of tickets for Logic up against Mercy the Mad. We have some nice shots raining down though from the trees. The Dervites are trying to get in there, but the Plague Toads have been a little bit too much. Furies as well can certainly pressure the bow line. And look at this, just so much value, just not doing anything in the middle for Logic, but it doesn't necessarily need to. I'd certainly like to see him push up, though, and kind of hold this point here. Because, one, you can rear attack the enemy, and you can stop reinforcements coming. We do have Ice Guard formed now by Mercy, but it may be a little bit too little too late. And every time he gets close to capturing this objective, more Forsaken arrive, more Nurglings arrive, more Plague Toads arrive, and that's the big problem with trying to cap with cavalry like this so close to the opponent's deployment zone. It simply does not have the weight to capture such objectives, and though the Bear Cav I'm sure has been very good, it's a very healthy Bear Cav, it's just struggling so much. We need to see some infantry over here or some more dervishes perhaps to really apply a bit of pressure. Objective 1 still well and truly in the hands of Nurgle. Forsaken are starting to go down here to the sheer bow fire. The Plague Toads, though, pinning back a lot of the ranged troops as well. But all this infantry needs to swarm in now and just try to claim the actual objective, because it's just giving more and more time for Logic to bring in some of these fancier, hard-hitting units, which is a luxury you can afford when you're so far ahead. Plague Drones and Nurgle being moved in as well. They do some pretty cool bombs. They throw heads at the enemies. And I think this is the range unit at least. Let's see. Oh no, they're not the range unit. This is the combat unit. Oh, sad days. But still, decent armor piercing. Going to start swarming over the range units and just looking like an absolute menace. I love the wing animations. They are so cool. They definitely remind me of the Thopters from Dune. We do have some heavy war sleds brought into action, which is very cool. Heavy war sleds are good. Light war sleds are probably even better, but I like the heavy ones as well. They certainly have their place. Do start driving in. It looks like Kislev are now going to eventually claim back their home objective. Are they close to capping objective 3? Once again, they're trying to claim it, and it looks like the force of Nurgle do summon some more plague bearers, but it's not going to be in time. Kislev will get the double cap, but at this point of the battle, Kislev need the triple cap to come back into this. So finally, Kislev are able to get a little bit more aggressive, thump into the enemy, and as you can see, it is Kislev and nearly Kislev on the home objective of Nurgle. They're definitely going to qualify and get it here. Now they need to pour all their objectives, or all their resources into objective 2, apart from 1 or 2 units that hold the Nurgle's home objective. Forsaken, though, and Plague Toads doing a fantastic job down here. Heavy War Sleds, a nice inclusion. I think they were very much needed a bit earlier on to deal with the amount of infantry Nurgle had, particularly the Forsaken War Sleds will slaughter. And the Ice Guard getting in there, doing some nice, decent work. We can actually get some nice close-up of the Ice Guard. They're one of my favorite units thematically. They have some really freaking cool animations and just generally really badass models. The way they shoot arrows is pretty cool. They're kind of getting out their glaives and just slicing and dicing their way through the enemy. Oh, the flies are buzzing above them, doing massive damage. War Sleds trying their best to get the Kislevites into the game, who do now have the double cap. So Kislev have held this objective. They're only leaving 1 unit of dervishes to protect, though, which is not going to be enough against all these Nurglings. And they are moving towards objective 2, but I can feel the panic right now in the Kislev hands. They're like, we don't have enough. We don't have enough troops. I love the push though from Mercy, getting his 2 objectives back, but it was simply too little too late. It took him the entire game to wrestle objective 3 off the hands of Nurgle, and if he got that early, it'd been great, because then Nurgle have to spread their forces in the mid. But because of that, it was a nice, solid victory from Logic, coming in with a dominant display. And both Logic and Darv had some really good early displays here. So I'm very excited to see those guys go up against each other. It's going to be a real nasty best of 5, I think. And I'm all for it. Well played to Mercy there, putting on a good display. The build, I mean, 1.2k, 1.6k damage value. The Patriarchs, there's so much resources to try and capture an objective, and they did it, but it took them so long. We did have a little Grom. It did get brought in at some point, apparently. 280 damage. I probably missed that at the very end. I'd like to see the War Sleds a little bit earlier from Mercy, but they did good work when they were in here, and the Streltsy just don't, I think, have enough burst damage to get through Nurgle that quickly, which is a bit of a problem for them. As for Mr. Logic himself, 995 damage value, 91 kills on the Plague Father. He just sat there and was like, hey, you want to come at me? Feel free. And Mercy did want to, and I understand that reason completely. You can't just ignore the Plague Father. The Forsaken, 660, 820, and 470 damage value on them is certainly not too shabby. Nurgle into a big pain in the butt. It was honestly, he didn't do that much more damage, I don't think, than the Kislevs. He just had a bit better map control, and once Nurgle get map control, trying to wrestle it back can be really quite challenging. Plague Drones, 660 value on them, came in late game. Any other kind of standout units? I like the Plague Bearers on the home objective. I think they were held for a long time, did a good job, particularly supporting alongside the Nurglings. Was rather scary. The Plague Toads, 107 kills, my god. 700 damage dealt. The other Toads, not much damage value. I'd like to see the Fury's value. 82, 42, 74 kills. Anything crazy? Nah, mainly 600 damage value for them, so not too shabby whatsoever. And up next, we will have Mr. Darv versus Mr. Logic. Just going to rehost the lobby. Well, I believe that was 2-0. Yes, it was. 2-0 to Logic there. So I will let the guys know in Discord. Oh my god, I have so many messages in Discord right now. Dove and Logic, I will host a new lobby. Great fight, Mercy. Yeah, great fight, Mercy. Put up a good scrap, dude. Put up a very good scrap. Awesome. So, let's quickly create a new lobby. Ducks Tournament Final, we should call it. Just because I don't want it to bug out, which it sometimes does with the spectator slot. Let me get this going. Rubber Ducky, how well do you think Wood Elves and High Elves will do in Warhammer 3? Wood Elves are going to be freaking nasty. And I think it could also come down to the fact Tree King might be really annoying. Because no one kills Tree King quickly. They're super fast, super deadly. I think they play a lot like Slanesh will. Fast, hard-hitting, very mobile type faction. I think they could be good. I think they could be good. Let us do the Death Pass next for the map. And we'll get the Mighty Darv in here. Nathan coming in with the sassiest sass of all time. Stop pretending you're getting loads of messages on Discord. We all know that's not true. My heart is broken. And you're actually going to be seeing, guys, a video coming out tomorrow featuring me and Nathan, which is quite good. Nurgle versus Tzeentch, I think it was. Yeah, it's a very interesting game. Very interesting stuff indeed. So, let's see the blind picks, lads. Love it. So, I mean, this is Logic. And this is a best of 5 now. So let's quickly update the scoreboard. Mercy, well played, good sir. Well played. So, both Mercy and Link. So, yeah, played decent amount my player, but are more campaign streamers. And now we have the 2 multiplayer streamers coming in against each other. And both of them managed to win 2-0. So this should be a juicy final. Love it. Logic just sends me a message saying corn dogs. So it is Khorne versus Tzeentch. This is going to be an interesting one. Interesting one indeed. So Darv is playing Tzeentch. Khorne versus Tzeentch. It is. And let's load in. We will play on Death Pass for the first map. It's not a mirror to start. It's not a mirror. I love it. Wazak Wood Elgi? Yeah, Wood Elves I reckon can be quite scary. Dwarves, if they got an objective, I feel like may play like Nurgle, but Nurgle with range. So maybe better. Who knows? There's so much cool speculation about all the old factions and how they're going to be implemented and how they're going to work. Initial take seems that... Oh, what's this? What's not worth the points? Oh, the elite ones? I think the cheap ones just do a very similar job, but cheaper. That's why I think they get picked a bit more. Go Darv, screams Romulan Dog. Representing his boy. Kill the cowardly wilders of magic, screams Scarbrand. Yes, let's crush them. Although I feel like Tzeentch is the most duck-like faction. They got a lot of birds. So I do have to, a little bit of my heart's like, hey, gotta root for them, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, every faction will at least be doable. There will always be some strats with factions, and people always main factions and do well with them. But some will be more difficult to master than others, for sure. How much impact do you think Stalk will play when the other factions get added? I think it'd be huge. I think Stalk's gonna be big. There's not that many units of Stalk in the game at the moment, but I think Stalk could be good. Yeah, Nurgle, like, I know I've seen a few people say Nurgle are like the weakest. Nurgle, I think, are gonna be the hardest to learn. But when you learn them, my god, Nurgle are a pain in the arse to deal with. You just can't... When you get on the back foot against Nurgle, trying to bring it back is almost impossible. It is so hard. You really have to do good initial engagements with Nurgle or split them. Split their forces. Don't let them dominate the map, and then you'll be fine. Then you'll be fine. We're on Death Pass here. It's a bit of an OG map. Death Pass is a map from Warhammer 2, but has been repurposed here. And it does the job. It does the job rather well. They've got these big rock faces. You can do some sneaky shenanigans with them. Some trees as well. All around a quite good fun map. Khorne versus Tzeentch is fun. It's like the power, the long-range power of Tzeentch versus the big old, I'm going to hit you in the face really freaking hard with Khorne. Very interested to see how both these players adapt to this and try to play it out. Let's have a little sip of my drink to keep me alive. I think there'll be a little bit less downtime as well in domination tournaments. Just between, I think builds are a bit quicker to make because you're broken up into these like smaller sections. Whoops, Star with Tzeentch got mixed up. That's just a Tzeentch trick to throw you off. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it, man. It's a dirty Tzeentch trick. Can't stop the slow roll. Yeah, that's the thing with Nurgle. Once they get that slow roll going, if they get the ball rolling, they can be really quite nasty. I've had a lot of fun with Nurgle in general. Torn between having my first campaign being Khorne or Kislev. I'm tempted to do a campaign stream. I don't know if people would... like, every time I do done campaigns in the past, people have been super interested because I know I'm a multiplayer channel. But the Warhammer 3 campaigns are so good. They're so good that I kind of want to do one on the stream, but I don't know what one people would want to watch. I'm thinking maybe like a Boris campaign could be fun with Kislev, my beloved. But I think a load of people have done those recently. So if there is a campaign that you would like me to... I might do a poll after this battle. Looks like the guy's nearly ready. So I'll check it up after and see if people want a campaign stream. And if so, which Lord would you like me to play? There's so many sneaky ones. Tzeentch are very fun because they have some ridiculous schemes. I did a stream with... Or I was on a stream with Anticity, Turin, Mercy, Darv. I can't remember who else was there. Really, the smaller campaigns, like the ones that are designed to be multiplayer, are so fun. I need to try and recruit an elite unit of Avengers again, of Total War Avenger casters. Should we do the Kislev campaign or something together? They're like quicker. There's so much more. It feels like a game of Risk to a point. Like, you're trying to betray everyone, but at the same time, pretending like you're not going to betray everyone and make an alliance with real people is much more fun than making it with AI. At least from my experience. So it looks like Darv's now ready. Logic doing a few last-second adjustments. And we're ready up for when these guys are good to hop in and go. Yeah, Mercy, I want to do the Something Rotten in Kislev multiplayer. That's what I want to do. I would quite like doing a stream as that. Yeah, also, Zensky, yeah, I have thought about Build a Duck, Chaos Undivided, where I build like a duck guy. And if you've noticed, in the trailer, there's like a, like, I would basically design it exactly the same. It's like a Tzeentch Greater Demon, and it had like this metal bird, like, mask on, and I was like, oh, if I could change the color of that to yellow, it would be perfect. It would be absolutely perfect. I love how Scarbrand, every time anything gets brought up about, like, what should we do, it's like, play Khorne, reap Kislev, so you can add, so you can adorn your home with skulls and a nice bear arc. I love it. Something rotten in logic, indeed, indeed. Go in Khorne, how dare he. Boris with the bear stick, I feel like Boris would be very fun as well. Oh man, lots of Darv supporters in chat today. Rove the boy, ducks need water, ducks definitely need water. I volunteer as tribute, says Mercy. I will play Kislev. Kislev are very fun. Yeah, if you guys saw that live stream, like, Turin just kept tickling me with Pestilence over and over again. It was a nightmare. It was huge fun. I think those multiplayer type streams are just gonna be really good in general for streamers, and they're such a fun time. Anyway, let's delve into this battle. So it's the first of the best of 5 final. It is Mr. Logic versus Mr. Darv, two very experienced multiplayer players and casters. Everyone playing in today's tournament is a content creator. Make sure to go check them out. I'll do a little link to them all at the end. We have a load of Chaos Warriors of Khorne coming in from Logic, which is a nice, interesting pick. Going very wide, maybe so he doesn't have to bring them to the battlefield later, because they're quite slow. Will struggle up against long-range firepower of Tzeentch, particularly Flamers. We have double Cultists, which has again become a bit of a staple for Khorne, it seems, with those Bloodletter summons. We maybe popping them behind Blue Horrors would be quite nice. Oh, this is real lovely and misty down here in the mountains. We do have a Herald of Khorne as well, coming quite cheap toolkit, just the 2 items, the Hellblade and the Locust of Wrath, and we have some Chaos Warhounds, and that's about it. Very simple build, looking just to swarm the enemy nice and early. As for Darv, let's see what the Mad Hatter himself has brought. He does have an Exalted Lord of Change of Metal up in the skies. This is my most common pick for Tzeentch. I love this bad boy. Final Transmutation and Searing Doom is such a nice combo. He's also coming in with Plague of Rust, which is pretty useful. Negative 33 armor is pretty cool. I swear it used to be negative 30 or something. That seems like a weird change. We then also have some Fury summons with him. He's just an all-round powerhouse. Pretty decent melee stats there as well to boot. Load of Blue Horrors, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the back. We then have a double Forsaken in the front with some Chaos Spawn coming in. Spawn of Tzeentch, very powerful, looking to contest the infantry fight with this front line, while the back line reaps in damage from afar. Now, big problem for Logic here. He's moved the Chaos Warhounds to contest Objective 1. They're going to have to fall back very quickly because the Exalted Lord of Change could easily come over and thump them. But it looks like they might be going for the long flank to jump on top of these Horrors, which is quite a nice play. These are all just Blue Horrors, yeah, no Pink Horrors just yet, as the armies do advance. And the Khorne will definitely win the front fight. We'll be able to overwhelm Forsaken rather quickly. Bloodletter summons in the back should drive off the Blue Horrors, so there's definitely potential here for Khorne. But likewise, if Darv's able to pin in all these infantry core with his front line, the Blue Horrors are going to have an absolute field day. Absolute field day. It looks like we have Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Looks like 1 unit maybe going for Objective 1. The other ones are going to be moving up. Warhounds sneakily moving through the trees. And it seems like Darv's saving up for maybe a big summon here or multiple units. He has yet to summon too much to the battlefield. Warriors of Khorne, blood-curdling scream being ripped from their lips, looking to engage. Forsaken quite happy to meet them in hand-to-hand combat, and in they go. You can see the shields pop in here, and now we get the big Lord jump down. Very powerful melee combatant, very disruptive as well, launching his way in. Chaos Warriors should start to just push through onto the Blue Horrors. Lovely pressure by Logic, catching out Darv with the Warhounds in the back, pinning in the Blue Horrors in place as more Warriors do start to be summoned to the battlefield. And it looks like we have some Screamers coming in from Darv, as well as some more Forsaken. I think Forsaken very good at holding objectives. They are going to have to engage, though, with some Bloodletters of Khorne. Lovely kind of play by Logic. Bloodletters will rip Forsaken limb from limb with awesome weaponry. It looks like Blue Horrors are starting to add up damage-wise. You see Chaos Warriors starting to struggle up against Forsaken, but we do get the double Bloodletter summon on the field. They're probably not going to get the most damage, but they will be able to shut down at least the Blue Horrors for now and force them off the field. We get the Furies in here as well, coming in there from this crazy Exalted Lord of Change. And the Herald of Khorne does eat a big fat final transmutation, and that's very scary. Very scary, particularly for the Herald of Khorne, who's found himself a little bit isolated. We need to see these Chaos Warriors move up into combat a little bit more. On Objective 1, it's going to be all Logic. Objective 3, all Logic 2. So the middle fight is very crucial for Darv at the moment. Blue Horrors are just sitting there and tanking at the Bloodletters right now, trying to focus down the units which will not, which aren't summons, and can actually capture objectives here. Big crazy fight in the middle. It does look like Logic's going to lose his Lord. He is a lot cheaper, though, than an Exalted Lord of Change, so it's not the end of the day there. Chaos Warriors Khorne moving in to engage as well with the Forsaken, and the middle objective is going in favor of Darv here, but Objective 1 is about to become Logic's, and Objective 3 is tied right now. The Forsaken need to be jumped here by the Bloodletters, and this is a beautiful play by Darv. Comes in with the Flamers of Tzeentch. He knows, oh my god, that initial damage though is really powerful from the Forsaken. Holy crap! Holy god, the Forsaken are chewing their way through the Bloodletters. Maybe I misjudged this. I think the Bloodletters should win it, but that is brutal. Look at the slaughter on both sides. And now with the Flamers coming in, oh baby, that Objective 3 is all Darv now. It is all Darv. Middle fight is very close. It looks like Tzeentch are currently contesting it. We do, though, get some wild Skull Crushers coming in here. So I'm trying to swarm the middle and hold it as much as possible. But the Chaos Warriors really are getting their bread buttered at the moment in the center. Objective 1, nicely secured by Logic. Love to see it. And Objective 2, though, seems like it's going pretty juicy so far for Darv's forces. A lot of the Chaos Warriors of Khorne is being forced back by the overwhelming firepower and that really nasty final transmutation. Cultists again forced back. Looks like Skull Crusher's going to be rotating towards Objective 1, which is now being claimed by Logic. He did swoop in with some Flesh Hounds, able to dispatch the remainder of those Forsaken, and now jump on top of those pesky Flames of Tzeentch. But Forsaken have returned, so Skull Crushers need to arrive quickly. But the mobility of Tzeentch is so juicy. We've got Screamers, Spawn, Forsaken, all bomb and rushing this objective to try to stop Logic from claiming it. And his Flesh Hounds now need to get on these Forsaken as quickly as possible and try to hold that objective down. In the center, very beat-up army of Tzeentch is very hotly contested in here. A few of these Warriors of Khorne probably just want to be withdrawn back by Logic so they can heal up a little bit and come back to fight another day. Damage dealt is very close. There's about 1,000 in it, but it looks like Tzeentch has brought the pain a little bit more than Khorne, which I know Scarbrand in chat probably is not having a happy time viewing this right now. Skull Crusher's going to move in, help deal with the enemy Forsaken and overwhelm them. Likewise, we have more Chaos Warhounds coming in, and though there are Screamers here, they cannot capture objectives, and it looks like this objective may fall into the clutches of Logic, as he also runs in with some Chaos Warhounds. There's so much damage on the field by Tzeentch at this point, and we're about to see a nasty Plague of Rust come down, I believe, on not Plague of Rust, sorry, a Searing Doom onto the Skull Crushers, doing some really nasty work, plus a Fury Summon being used here by Darv. That is his second of the day. Objective 3 is going for Tzeentch, and he's definitely got the momentum going for him. Tickets are very close right now, but I much prefer Tzeentch's army on the field than the Warriors of Chaos right now, the Khorne, I should say. My god, it's going to get so hard with all these different names and trying to learn them all. The Chaos Warriors of Khorne dual weapons are getting in here. They should do decent damage, I would expect, to the spawn, but they're going to take a lot of damage back as well. This objective is still well and truly in the hands of Tzeentch, and you see those flames just roasting the cultists, just like, yes, burn, baby, burn. Cultists are going to push forward here, but the flame, oh, it's pretty gnarly. It looks like they are shooting over a little bit wide and high there. Objective 1 is not being contested at all, which is fair to say. I think that's a fine play by Darv, just really go ham for the middle and just contest the 2 objectives, though the middle objective is now starting to be claimed once again by the forces of Logic and Khorne as Chaos Warriors start to push in, and the Chaos Warriors of Dual Weapons actually start to bring a lot of pain to the middle. We have more Warhounds popping in as well, trying their best to claim that fight. Objective 3, though, does end up in the hands of Tzeentch. The clutches remain firmly touched around it. Looks like we might get yet another final transmutation coming in here. It's going to catch out both the cultists plus the warhounds. That is very scary stuff. This middle objective is very slowly being caught by Khorne, but it is slow, and that's quite a problem for them. We do get a Plague of Rust go down on the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, although they are winning this middle objective. We have a load of Warhounds coming in. This objective could certainly turn into Logic's favor right now, because I think Darv has gone quite a big investment into flyers and these single entities, which aren't really so good at capping the objectives. Bloodless are moving to hand-to-hand combat. They will face the Forsaken, and I think Forsaken have so much good damage output that they can really tussle with the Bloodletters, it seems, in combat. It's a real blood and thunder affair. The shields instantly stripped from the Forsaken, and it's just such a grimy fight here in the middle. We do have Flesh Hounds moving in to try to hold it down, and it looks like we're getting the big tier just air effect spell coming from Tzeentch, and this is going to roast the dual weapons as well as the Chaos Warriors. It will do a lot of friendly fire, but there's only spawn left in the central objective, and it looks like that may be enough to save the central point for Darv, perhaps. It still is starting to be capped, though, by the forces of Khorne. They've had to sacrifice a lot, though, to claim this objective, and they are so close to getting it, but cruelly, Darv strips it from them, and it looks like he is going to be able to hold the central objective just about, using that big air effect spell there to claim a victory. Though, once again, Khorne seem to be capping it back relatively quickly, with all the doggos bouncing around the battlefield. We also have more Bloodletters being summoned into the action. Now, Darv hasn't contested Objective 1 at all. There's some more Warhounds in the back who just need to swarm the objective right now and try and cap it. And oh, cheeky play, cheeky play. We have some Chaos Warhounds capping objective 3, and they might be able to do it. Screamers are better against the Flesh Hounds because of the anti-large. If the doggos can survive this, yeah, kite underneath them. Oh, that'd be so beautiful. If they can survive this, they will cap objective 3 before the force of Tzeentch can get here. There are Chaos Knights though approaching, which is pretty scary stuff. Objective 3, or actually 2, I should say, so nearly caught by Khorne. Unfortunately, once again, because that lovely play there with the faction ability was able just to decimate a lot of the ground forces and hold it firmly there for Tzeentch. So the main fight and the main army is certainly looking better for Tzeentch right now, but Logic, scrapping his heart out here, has managed to get the 2-for-1 cap over Darv and claim objective 3, but it won't be for long with Chaos Knights coming in and double Forsaken. I'd actually pull back these double Forsaken from the battlefield and withdraw them and just leave the Knights over here to cap. Tzeentch looks like they've had enough. They've, we've done decent. We've beaten the enemy and finally won that big grind fight in the middle. And now pushing forward and really trying to take the fight to the enemy as quickly as possible as Bloodletters swarm in. But these Forsaken seem to be the perfect counter to the Bloodletters. And I think it's because these bad boys do magic attacks. I don't think all the Forsaken do, but the Tzeentch ones definitely do. And that is a big problem for the Bloodletters, who are just getting carved into pieces right now. Spawner Tzeentch as well as the big old Screamers are starting to push in, and it's looking really good right now for the mighty Darv. We'll have to see what Logic can come up with to try and scrap his way back into this game. We have a few Warhounds dotted around the place. Blue Horrors are being summoned in now by Darv just to cap objectives. A big fan of that. Objective 3 is about to be his. Objective 1 is still very much Logic, so it's just this big brawl in the front. What can the Warriors of Khorne do to drag themselves back into this? Because there's so much spawn and Screamers left on the field. It is looking really rough. We do have Flesh Hounds as well as normal Warhounds starting to move in and cap objective 2. And it looks like maybe he's just hoping to play the cap game and get, better tickets than Darv rather than actually trying to defeat his army, which is certainly a viable strategy. And he is actually starting to cap this objective pretty quickly. Well, we'll be able to overwhelm the Forsaken very fast, but Screamers and Tzeentch are coming back. And I like this pressure from Logic because at least it's going to force Darv to not be up in his face and kind of have to fall back and claim the objective, which will give him a little bit of breathing room from his spawn to the main fight. But I still think Darv's in a very dominant position. We have some Chaos Warhounds coming over to cap objective 3, but with Chaos Knights here, Chaos Knights of Tzeentch are so scary. And yeah, it looks like Logic realizes the threat here. He's like, nah, I'm not going to come tussle with these Chaos Knights. They're simply too much for me. His was briefly starting to cap the middle objective once more, but the Warhounds have been forced out. The spawn, the screamers, just is simply too much for the Warhounds to deal with. And these aren't flesh hounds, these are basic Warhounds. They don't really have the stomach for such a fight, are getting driven away from the battlefield. And Bloodletters have been summoned. Likewise, we have some Chaos Warriors with Halberds coming in. The tickets are still relatively close. 2.6k tickets here for Logic, 3.3 coming in for Darv, who's playing out of his skin right now, the Tzeentch. I love the Tzeentch play. He is leaving Objective 3 a little bit open. You can see Flesh Hounds are actually on the approach. Maybe get another reverse cap. Darv definitely needs to keep his wits about him. He does pull back the Chaos Knights. The Chaos Knights with the shields are very powerful. So I'd like to see them just jump in here and finish off the Hounds for sure, who are trying to find a home and try and bounce around. Now, Darv, he's had enough of just being a 2-cap geezer. He wants to be a 3-cap geezer, and he's finally coming over here to apply even more pressure to Logic. He's like, hey, you won't fight me in the main fight? I'm going to force you to. I'm going to jump your troops on Objective 1. In come the Blue Horrors, pouring on that fire. The plasma grenades of the gods raining down on these poor Chaos Warriors with the Plague of Rust combo down to 67 armor. They're getting lit on fire, and the Exotic Lord of Change has been a nightmare to contest with. Having no Bloodthirst on the field really is quite bad to deal with this bad boy, but bringing a Bloodthirst, you got Doom Knights, Furies, loads to pin him down, and the Exotic Lord of Change is definitely my favorite lord, I think, from this faction, particularly the one of Metal. Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, yes, sign me up. Flamers have been spawned, and they will decimate the infantry of Khorne here quite a lot. You can see now 5,700 more damage dealt done by Tzeentch than Khorne, which is scary, but the tickets aren't that far apart, only 1,000 there. Bloodletters will be enough to hop on top of the Flamers and shut them down as the spawn get dragged down by the Halberds, and maybe a bit of a foothold starting to be opened up by Khorne, but the Hounds are just getting decimated. This mobile goon squad of Tzeentch with the Screamers and with the Knights is really quite scary stuff indeed. Objective 3 was being capped briefly by Warhounds, just double Forsaken there. If we can get some force over there for Logic, he may be able to cap back, but at this point I fear he's going to need a triple cap to get back into the game, and he himself has just been triple capped. Tzeentch holding Objective 1, 2, and 3, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. He's not giving up just yet, though. Chaos Warriors of Khorne and the Chaos Warriors of Khorne dual weapons moving forward to engage in glorious hand-to-hand combat in the name of the Blood God. Skulls for the Scroll Throne, but the looks like Tzeentch is able to reign supreme. What a game! Very good game. That's the most hotly contested one so far. That was nasty stuff. Nasty stuff indeed. Now, Logic tried, like, spamming the Hounds and stuff late game, but the Blue Horrors was too much with the Forsaken. Very well played to these two lads here. 200 value on the Herald of Khorne. The little Cults of Khorne didn't do too much damage. The Mass Infantry, 600. 491, 400, 140, and 290 value on them with 300 on the Hounds. It just could not get engaged with the enemy in time. The magic plus the Blue Horrors was super nasty. As for the rest of Logic's forces, let's see, 740 from the Chaos Warriors of Khorne did a good job. Did a very good job. Bloodletters, 960 value. I think he's bringing them in just because they're a bit quicker. Flesh Hounds got 1.3k value, which is pretty tasty. Nothing else too crazy. As for Darv, 3,000 damage value in 76 kills on the glorious Exalted Lord of Change. Phenomenal performance by him with him. I think that Lord was just cut above kind of anything else on the battlefield, and probably is the main determining factor to what allowed Tzeentch to be victorious there. 1.1k with 90 kills on the spawns, pretty good. 830 and 400 on the Forsaken, did a good job. Blue Horrors, not much value. 740 and 750 solid. They were summoned multiple times, however. The Chaos Knights, such a nice pick. I love seeing people bring them in. They are kind of mobile tanky unit for Tzeentch, is something they lack. Them and Doom Knights can be quite problematic. Spawn got 600 value. 920, 289 from the Flamers. Forsaken, 870, 820 value. 108 kills is very nice. 1.1k on the Screamers, jeez. 830, and the others didn't do quite so good. Pink Horrors unfortunately never got to see the light of day, but GG's well played. We will move now to the Mountain of Morn as our map, and that is a 1-0 to Darv so far, and we'll get our blind picks. So, awesome. I have Darv's answer. We'll see what Logic goes for. Let's quickly update the scoreboard. That is a 1-0 to Darv so far. It is best of 5, guys, though, so strap yourselves in. We've got plenty of games to come. Hopefully they're all as good as that, because that was pretty close. That was pretty close indeed. Let's see which faction Logic's going to go for. Interesting. Very interesting. It is going to be Kislev. Kislev for Darv. Nurgle for Logic. Kislev versus Nurgle. The dreaded matchup. We've seen Kislev play this twice so far and lose it twice. Perhaps Nurgle counter Kislev. Only time will tell. We'll have to delve into this battle as it does unfold and see how it goes. See how it goes. Hope you guys are enjoying in chat still. Is this the final? Yes. So Darv managed to take down Lynxy 2-0, and Logic managed to take down Mercy Mad 2-0. Both of them put up a fantastic fight though, and it was again, multiplayer streamers versus campaign streamers, so they were favorites to win. They got here, and now it's Darv versus Logic. It is a best of 5 final. Best of 5. Hopefully a little bit better today, Nathan, as well. Hopefully the plague of Nurgle has been stripped from you a little bit. Disciple of Tzeentch is just saying yes, 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 over and over again. I'm assuming that was for the Tzeentch win. I don't think you guys can hear it too much, because you have to be like playing Tzeentch, but the voice acting on the pink horrors and the blue horrors is just the best. It's so good. They just start screaming in these high-pitched voices like, for Tzeentch! It's so good. It's so good. Our supremacy have won. Yeah, Tzeentch is very powerful. Tzeentch is... I enjoy Tzeentch quite a bit. I think on pitch battles, they might be more powerful than they are on domination. I've definitely seen them beaten. I've beaten them quite a bit. I've been beaten with them, but they are a rather nasty faction. Let's go Slav Squat Gang. Get wrecked. Nurgle says, Rattling Gunners. Man, we've got all of Darv's supporters in chat today. Need some little love for Logic as well to inspire him. Some greater feats of heroism. Also, I should mention, so I'm going to mention this multiple times, but if you guys are enjoying, feel free to like and subscribe and stuff. And more importantly, all the guys playing today are fantastic content creators. If you like my campaign stuff, check out Lynxy and Mr. Mercy the Mad. They do a load of glorious stuff, a load of campaigns, obviously, with the Warhammer 3 launch and stuff. And both Logic and Mr. Darv are multiplayer streamers, so make sure to check them out. And let's delve into this juicy one. Let's delve into it. Hell yeah, Dark. Hell yes. What's up, Fish? How's it going? Why does nobody seem to bring Exalted Pink Horrors at the start? I've seen them brought a few times, actually, as like just a one lone unit. They tend to be pretty good. Yes, Darv! Yes, he's bringing my absolute... I was going to say lads, they are ladies. The ladies, I love the Ice Guard, and I want to see them used well, and I've found in a few matchups, they're really, really freaking powerful. Interested to see them against Nurgle, see how they perform. Can they kind of carve through the enemy quick enough? Relatively elite infantry coming in actually from Darv with them in the Tsar Guard. And it looks like Logic has kind of stuck with his build from earlier. I'll have to see how it does fare up against a different opponent and a different style of play. You can capture objectives a lot faster, House Cat of War, but you need to use infantry. The problem what we're seeing a lot is a lot of players use cavalry to get onto these objectives quickly, and then it takes them forever to cap it, and then infantry will simply move over and counter them quite quickly. So Logic's build is the same as we saw before. A buck ton of Nurglings. 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have a load of Forsaken Nurgle. So basically listen to win the infantry grind fight like early on. And then we have Kugarth Plague Father himself coming in with, I assume, the same spells. Looks like this may be a preloaded save that Logic's comfortable using. So he's coming in with the Plague Father. We have the Stream of Corruption. We have Miasma of Pestilence again, which is a really nice debuff. And Fleshy Abundance. I like it. I like it a lot. For the Force of Kislev, with our first skirmish cav of the day, we have some Horse Archers moving up in the front. Now, there's basically nothing on Nurgle which can catch these guys. Unfortunately for Darv, the Plague Father has been brought, and he'll be able to roast them from long range pretty effectively, but I still like seeing them in action. We do have some Armored Corsairs as well on the left-hand side who can pop forward to objective number 3. We have Constantine once more on his Glorious Bear. I prefer Boris in a few matchups, but in this one I can certainly see one of those Air of Effect buffs coming in. So he's looking pretty glorious. I love his little standard. And just behind him, we have the Tsar Guard, as well as the Ice Guard with swords. Ice Guard are so freaking cool. Their bow animations are some of my favorite, the way they shoot. And again, they should be able to do pretty decent damage in melee. You can see 32 weapon strength is not the crazy numbers, but they do have the bonus versus infantry, which is huge, and 42 melee attack with magic attacks. I think they could be very good up against demon factions. Maybe not Khorne, though, because they seem to get mulched too quickly. I know Tzeentch, I think it was where I saw them get mulched too quickly by the range. Warbear Riders as well in the back, a staple of Kislev, which I think it should be because, come on, it's Warbears and it's Kislev. So we are underway here. Lots of choke points on this map. Nice little center here, and you can actually do some really nice covering as well from artillery, or you can stick artillery up on these points and do some good damage. Looks like Nurgle will be trundling forward towards that central objective, looking to contest it as quickly as possible. We do have one unit of Forsaken kind of splintering off to the left-hand side here to apply a bit of pressure to the enemy, but looks like Darv is well aware of this, summoned some more Horse Archers to the battlefield, and will be looking to apply pressure to them and hopefully allowing his infantry to beat the Nurgle infantry if they are able to get in there and do the dirty with their bows. And the Nurglings taking a bit of poke damage. Horse Archers, 0 kills so far, but hey, damage is damage, and Nurglings have 0 armor. They are truly naked, so I quite like the Horse Archers as a counter here to Nurgle in general. Warbears moving to the left-hand side, Ice Guard and the Tsar Guard as well. Look like they're going to be claiming Objective 1, and it seems like Darv may just be like, you know what, I don't want to fight you, Death Blob, so I'm not going to. I'm going to capture the 2 side objectives instead, and be a big pain. Now, the cool thing about the Plague Fire is he can actually sit in the objective and shoot across the side ones. You've seen him here, guard him with like 1 unit maybe of Nurglings, and you push out onto the other objectives with the rest of your build. Constantine does take a rather nasty big old Nurgle thrown from the Plague Fire to the face, which isn't what he enjoys. We have Nurgle summon, Forsaken summon, and more Forsaken push objective 3. I like this play by logic quite a bit. He has a Vanguard deployment right here, which can Vanguard Nurglings, and you just swarm this. So it looks like the Light War Sleds have been activated and brought into action. So Nurgle going to claim the middle objective comfortably here, you would assume, which I think is a good play, and then probably just focus on objective number 3. We do have some Chaos Furies. I like this as a counter to the Light War Sleds, actually, because they should be able to pin them in place and now allow the Forsaken to chew them down. It looks like instead they are going after the Horse Archers, which if they can catch them, I can see them doing some decent work. War Sleds are on approach, though, and they are going to chew through this infantry of Nurgle. Needs to see some Plague Toads over here, or Furies, just to pin them in place and allow the infantry to really bring the pain. But logic's like, I don't care about your War Sleds, I'm going to ignore them, chew through your infantry, and start claiming the objective. And Nurgle would dominate in the middle of the map right now. We do have Warbears here and Horse Archers. The Plague Father, though, takes about 5 years to kill. So I don't expect Darth to attempt to kill him. Maybe the rest of his forces is the way to go. Furies are hunting down the Horse Archers. They've driven them off, but they are going to pull back to objective number 3. Looks like logic may be able to get the early double cap here. We have Plague Toads hippity hopping in their way to objective 3, and it looks like the War Sleds taking considerable damage now. Though the Light War Sleds are very powerful, they're very fast, they can be susceptible in engaged combat to being dragged down, particularly the poison of Nurgle coming into play. Like, Forsaken will drag their sums through them, whereas with the heavy sleds are a little bit better at dealing with those kind of grindy fights, but light ones are a lot cheaper and I think probably slightly more competitive. Harpies are starting to swoop down, hunting down the sleds. Love this play by logic here, and he's got a decent number of troops on objective 3. Objective 2 is just going to go nowhere, and he needs to be careful though. Bears are hunting down the Plague Father. He needs the Forsaken and Nurglings to be fighting and supporting this fight. The Plague Father still can take big damage, though he has the heal, and it looks like the Bears are forced back there. Good play by both players. Going to cheek a little bit of damage. Logic reacted, and then Darth reacted to the reaction. Objective 3 still well and truly in the hands of Nurgle. It looks like the War Sleds slowly being dragged down here. We actually have Horse Archers moving into hand-to-hand combat, which is a bold choice, doing some decent damage to the Forsaken though, and we have more Forsaken on the approach. So the problem here is we have a big blob of Nurgle, and who's that lurking in the trees? A Frost Maiden of Ice Magic. She's going to come in with a Ice Sheet to slow these troops down, and I'm assuming we're going to see a bigger spell follow it up, maybe like a damage dealing one. Who knows? Looks like it was just to slow stuff down and allow the Light War Sleds to really shine. I'm actually quite a big fan of the Ice and Tempest magic. It's quite fun to use in general. We do have some spawn of Nurgle have been summoned to deal with the Light War Sleds. Got good mass to pin them in. Can certainly be destroyed though, unfortunately, from the gunfire from them. Nurglings in the front taking damage, doesn't really matter. There's some horsemen. I would even move this other unit of Forsaken or Nurglings out to objective 3 as quickly as possible. The Plague Fervor simply is enough to handle this with all the Nurglings. Although the Tsar Guard may be considering moving up contesting. Ice Guard have taken a lot of damage, it seems, from the Plague Father's long-range kind of catapult shots. And it looks like Darth's had enough, that the trees are helping protect once more. It looks like he really hates trees in general. Load of infantry on the side, doing a decent job. Oh, lovely play. Lovely catch by logic. Jumping on the Frost Maiden of Ice there with the Furies. They'll be able to tear through her quickly. And the War Sled's starting to go down. The Plague Frog's doing a decent job here. The Forsaken and Plague Toad combo seems to be doing a bit of a decent number on this flank. And the War Sled simply can't get through the enemy. Damage-wise, it looks like Kislev are slightly ahead. But it doesn't matter because at the moment, objective-wise, Nurgle are ahead. big, lovely stream of corruption coming in on the Zargard. This is now a very important fight in the middle. So Kislev tried drawing as many reinforcements, as many forces away from this fight as physically possible. We do have the Lord in the back. He's still launching shots in here, doing some big damage and big friendly fire as well. Horsemen being run over by Nurglings. We're definitely going to see reinforcements appear on Objective 2 for Logic, otherwise he could be in a bit of problems. And a lot of his forces have actually been dragged off Objective 3. Needs to pull them back. Needs to pull back and guard Objective 3. But Zargard are on the approach as well. And it looks like the Warbears are starting to struggle a little bit, though the Slaves have been countered by Nurgle, it seems. We have some Furies coming in, looking to rear attack the Ice Guard. Now, this actually, it's a good and bad play at the same time. So the Ice Guard are a bit weakened right now. And shine down range is obviously crucial. Might be able to see some of their bow animations here. But their swords chew through Chaos Furies like no tomorrow. They just decimate them. There's so many of them kind of dead already. Maybe the Furies will actually be able to jump the Ice Guard here and be victorious. A lot of them were still also shooting. So Nurgle's doing a good job. They're starting to lose the middle objective, though. You can see the Warbears looking very scary right now. So we definitely need to see some more reinforcements, maybe pulled over from point 3 to help contest point 2, because point 3 is looking so juicy right now. Spawn have jumped on top of the Zargard. They're tearing them to pieces. Hippity-hoppity Plague Toads are doing a good job. And we have Forsaken Guard in here, so yeah, I'd like to see some forces kind of move back to the middle. As for Darv, I mean, he's bringing in more spears, bringing in more infantry to try to hold the objectives down, but he needs to be careful. Logic is such a sneaky devil going after these objectives, and the Plague Toad's about to jump Objective 1, and we have some Plague Bearers on the approach. Darv needs to be careful not to be triple capped here. In the central fight, Nurglings are holding back a load of Horse Archers and Dervishes, doing a good job. The Bears are slowly chewing through the enemy infantry. We've got some Nurglings in here and Forsaken, but the Plague Father's been launching shots into them all day, and they're actually looking a little bit worse wear and beat up. But for the first time in the battle, it looks like Kislev may be able to actually hold and contest the middle, although we see more Forsaken coming through to help hold it as much as possible. Looks like Spawn have been chewed apart by the Zargard, but they've been held in place for a long time, which is obviously exactly what Logic wants, as he takes a dominant lead on tickets right now, up to 2,500 tickets. Plague Father is concerned moving into hand-to-hand combat to support the Chaos Furies, who do a nice rear charge after getting rid of the Queen's Guard there. On Objective 1, it looks like the Plague Toads may be able to hold it in time. We have some Dervishes moving as quickly as possible to support. There is going to be some Plague Bearers moving, but look how freaking slow they are. It seems like the Plague Toads might actually try to engage the enemy. They're so close to capturing it. Ew, I think the Dervishes may get here in time. If oh, this is such a play. If they can keep the Dervishes off the objective but have half their unit capping it, that is insane. The Dervishes should be able to stop capping this, but because of that push from the Plague Toads, they're actually going to get it. That is bonkers. Although we have more Horse Archers on the approach, are they going to be able to get here in time because it's such a slow cap now? Oh, I just want to go see the rest of the battle, but I want to see if this is capped. It's so close. And it is Nurgles. My god, what a play there coming in by the Green Boys. On the left-hand side, you can see the Zargard certainly starting to struggle here. We still have Plague Toads moving forward. Look at the harass. The spears can't get through. Harpies, or Furies, I should say, are floating all over the place. Ice Guard with their swords are going to start raining damage down, though, on the big boy in the middle. And Zargard getting finished off by Plague Toads. This is looking so scary. The Kislev right now. I'm trying to think of ways I can get back into this game. But the Bears and Consultine have had to move all the way back to Objective 1 to reclaim it, which is a nightmare for them. We do have a couple of Nurglings summoned by Logic. I think their best bet, I mean, capping Objective 1's not bad because there's only cavalry over here, and they should be able to hold it here. The Plague Bearers join the Horsemen. It's going to be interesting to see if the Nurglings can actually get to Objective 1 or if Darv will intercept them en route. But taking the Bears out the middle does mean that Kurgath stands firm, and it looks like Darv is going to bow out there. The triple cap was too much. Nurgle, insane. Insane game. Very well played to Logic, and I know some of you guys are saying Nurgle were weak. I think here is a good example of Nurgle just bringing the pain. Oh, that was a game. I'm knackered after saying that. I feel my voice going. What a fight. What a fight. 2,000 damage value on the Plague Father. He does not die. He does not die despite all the pressure. The Forsaken 900, 1.1k, 720k value. Really good work on them. Nurglings as well. They just hit a cap. 684 damage is good on them, but they're mainly here for the cap in. Never saw the Plague Drones brought in. The Spawn just died, but they were able to pin back Zargard long enough, which was quite tasty. The Forsaken, 46, 30 kills, 800 value, 266. Lovely work there by both players. But it looks like, did the Furies get much value? 440, 800. I love the Ice Guard pick, 855 damage, 600 on the Zargard, but they were kind of out in the wind for a long time, and then by the time they got to the middle objective, it was so Nurgle dominated, it was hard for Darv to get back into the game. 930 on the Warbears, 300 value on his Lord. 700 value on the horse archers is quite nice. Apart from that, the Frostmaiden got jumped by the Furies, which was quite a crucial moment in the battle, because she could have been able to clear off a lot of the Nurglings and Forsaken. 1.4k damage value on this unit of Ice Guard is very good. 0 kills, so that was all at the Plague Father, of course. But that was a nice summon cannon by Darv. Also 1k on this unit of Zargard's nice. 900, 760 on the War Sleds. I don't think much else really got brought in. Horse Archers did okay. Okay, but nothing too crazy. Very well played. We will be moving the map now. Let us go to... What maps have we not done yet? We haven't done the Eye of the North yet. We'll do the Eye of the North next time. I don't think we've done Eye of the North. Oh, that might have been the first game we did on stream. Let's do Broken Leg Gully. I don't think we've done Broken Leg Gully yet. GG's, that was some wild stuff. Right, let's update the scoreboard. I'll catch my breath, because I was running out of it at the end there. I'll catch my breath. GG, lads. Oh. Awesome. We've got a reverse fixture. It is Tzeentch for Logic this time and Khorne for Darv, which we saw them do on the opposite way earlier, so that's going to be interesting to see if they copy each other's builds. Khorne versus Tzeentch. Or if they like mix it up and try completely different metas and completely different styles. I'm interested to see what, after Darv's kind of witnessed how like Logic's forces failed in that fight, like what he does differently. Like probably doesn't go for the Bloodletters in that matchup. And we'll have to wait and see. Broken Leg Gully, very fun map. It's the most kind of basic map, I would say. It's kind of got the 3 lanes with the raised stat, kind of little mounds on the flanks, but it's good fun nonetheless. I think this is one of the maps as well where cannons really amazing. Like artillery can be really scary on this map, but unfortunately we won't see it too many today. Hippity hoppity plague toads. I can't stop saying it now. I think I said it on the cast that I did today for tomorrow, and I just keep saying it. But tier 1 commentary, I appreciate it, bud. I really do. ROR Elemental Bear over every other DLC. I see you're a man of class and culture, Starkiller. Is your name based off the Star Wars character, by the way? Or is that just a coincidence? But GG's. So I've been ignoring you chat a little bit. It's pretty hectic when the battles are going on, so I have been able to vibe with you guys. But I hope everyone's been enjoying. Thank you so much for the support. We've got over 400 people in here right now. So I really appreciate if you guys like and subscribe and stuff if you enjoy. But more importantly, I just hope you guys are having a good time and enjoying this stuff. Can we have 8v8 in custom battle? I think 4v4 is the max. I'd have to double check. Yeah, this game had just fights all over the place. That Toad play was so nasty. Like half the army on the objective, half the unit on the objective, half the unit keeping the enemy from capping it. It was, oh, that was disgusting. And I got the triple cap, and he nearly didn't get that triple cap because the horse archers were on their way. The GG's. Scarbrand comes back to clip Tzeentch's wings. We'll have to wait and see. Man, I want a smoky elemental bear for sure. For sure. What item does Hero Demon of Nurgle have? Which one? There's probably a few of them. The cultist, like, the main reason you bring him is for summons. That's why you bring most of the cultists, it seems. Man, I'm excited. Well, I don't know why people are saying Winnie the Pooh's dead, but... Oh, you mean the elemental bear? The elemental bear, the regiment renowned like a giant Winnie the Pooh, and it throws honey. Oh, I'd be down. Bears for the bear god indeed. Kislev is still my favorite faction. What faction seems strongest in competitive my players so far? It's really tough to say, because initially everyone comes in and says this faction is really powerful, and then someone finds a counter to it, and then that faction becomes the most powerful, and it bounces around. So I don't want to label anything yet. Before release of the game, probably the day before, I will do my initial thoughts of like a list of stuff, which I'm like, hey, I think these factions are best for new players, I think these are the best factions, these are the ones people are going to struggle with the most. But interestingly enough, I've seen every faction win pretty consistently. I would argue Cathay and Nurgle are going to be the hardest to learn, but you just have to take a one look at any Intisti game, and you can see Cathay can be absolutely destroying you, and I've got some great games with them as well. And I think Nurgle have won 3 battles. Have Nurgle won every game today? I think they've beaten Kislev 3 games in a row, or something. Something wild. Praise Nurgle indeed. The grandfather best. He did work, man. This map kind of looks like a pouty mustache guy. I can see it. I can see it for sure. Super excited to see the ogres. Oh man, ogres. Yeah, you're gonna love them. You're gonna love them. We won and we will win again for our supremacy, for our brain power, under our elitism. Mwahaha, screams the disciple of Tzeentch. Looks like he is back in logic for this fight. 1-0 in this best of 5. I'm excited to see how it goes. Wonder how Slaanesh armies will deal with Tzeentch Air Force. The thing is, I suppose, like, they've got a lot of speed, right? So will they be able to outspeed the Tzeentch? That's going to be the thing. You think Tzeentch is the creepy uncle? Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Khorne's like the boisterous, like, older brother who just picks on the younger brothers and, like, beats them up. He's, like, a bit more grown. Let me check Discord, make sure the guys are all happy. But it looks like we're all good. Let me have a little sip of my drink as these guys build their armies. Ah, that's the good stuff. What was second matchup? Had to miss. Oh, you missed such a good game. Kislev versus Nurgle. Khorne is the very angry older brother, yeah. He's like been forgotten about by the parents because they all love the younger brother who's like does really good in school. They just takes it out on him. God, that's what Khorne is. So that's just the girl next door, oh god. Yeah, when air forces land, if they get pinned in, they get slaughtered, and they can't capture objectives. What is the maximum custom player limit? I'm not sure, I'll have to double check. We need more Kislev though. I think Logic hasn't played Kislev, right? What did he play in game 1? Nurgle game 2, played Khorne in game 1, I think. So he's still got Kislev. There is potential for more Kislev right in. Also, hello, my friend. Hope you're doing good. I haven't spoken to you in quite some time. Hope you're all well. Life is treating you kindly. I got some real awesome stuff to show off, like, not game-wise, not talking about Warhammer 3. I got some awesome stuff to show off on stream in, like, a little while as well, which I'm excited to bring to you guys. What Legendary Lord has been your favorite so far? Fantastic question. Fantastic question. Tough question. I love Boris. Boris the Chad. He's just a wrecking ball and I love him. Boris is really good. Of course I like Fate Weaver because he's a two-headed duck. So can't be mad at that. I like a worrying amount of units and lords at the moment. I think it's all new and fresh. I just love experimenting and using everything. So it's really tough to say right now. I could probably nail it down to like a few favorite units for each faction. So like Tzeentch, I love the Doom Knights. Doom Knights are awesome. I love the voice action on the little horrors. So they'd probably be my favorite from them. Kislev. Oh, it's so tough. War Sleds are so good. I love the Ice Guard. And anything with a bear involved is pretty cool. Khorne. My favorite unit from Khorne. The artillery piece is really fun. All the big single entities, like the Hell Cannon and the Lawnmower. Like the War Shrine. They're both really good fun. Just like animation-wise, they're some of my favorites. Also, we need to sign a petition, guys, to bring to CA that whoever did the bear models, did the bear designs, did the bear artwork, they all need a raise. Like a big raise. Big raises. Raid! Oh no, we're being raided! Beep boop! Is that the cries of Mr. Legend Total Wars chat, perhaps? Skroak? Oh man, I love Skroak and Ikit Claw for sure. I see you got a Skaven main. So, like any of the Skaven lords, basically, is what you're saying. But hello, people from Mr. Legend of Total Wars chat. Hope you had a fantastic stream. Glad to have you here. We're doing a Domination tournament today. It is very close. You've made it in time for the finals. It is best of 5. We have Darth Plays and Logic, two mighty YouTubers clashing in a rain of blows. We'll have to see who comes out on top here. And Logic is playing Tzeentch in Game 3 up against the Khorne of Mr. Screamerface, aka Darth Plays. So let's have a look at the builds. For Logic, we have a Blue Horrors of Tzeentch. It looks like a couple of them. And Triple Forsaken. It looks like, has he just copied Darv's build? The sneaky devil. I think he's lacking one Blue Horror maybe and having an extra Forsaken. But 3 Forsaken. We have Spawn of Tzeentch and a load of Blue Horrors in the back. We do have an Exalted Lord of Metal up in the skies coming in with the Fury Summon, Searing Doom, the Hounds, and Final Transmutation. Look at this model. How majestic and duck-like can you physically get in one model? It looks so beautiful. All of the animations and stuff in this game are just top-notch. The artwork as well. Oh, Scarbrand, the boy. Scarbrand, I hope you're watching, my friend. I hope you're still in chat because you are out in action. Coming in looking ripped. I love the skull shoulder pads. Within the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, we got some blood letters. Looks like triple blood letters. Going for speed and trying to surround the opponent. We have a Blood Reaper as well. I don't think I've ever seen a Blood Reaper played. This is my first time seeing this bad boy in action. It's pretty cool. He's coming in with some spell resistance. Plus 66% spell resistance. Air of Effect. Maybe to counter pendulums, though. It doesn't look like Logic has actually brought the pendulum. But if he can keep close to his lord, that could cancel out Final Transmutations really well. And we also have a Hellblade. So both armies are going to be advancing upon each other now. It's going to be a slow push from both sides. Of course, Tzeentch has the speed in the majority of their units, though Fleshhounds and Warhounds do give a little bit of more punch to Khorne as well. Who's your money on, lads? Who's your money on? Cackle if you want Tzeentch to win. Scream blood for the Blood God. And Skulls for the Skulls Throne if you want Khorne to win. Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you guys for joining from the raid. And hopefully you guys stick around if you do enjoy multiplayer. If not, thank you for tuning in anyway. We get our first Serum Doom come down. It's going to catch out the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Do some pretty nice damage to them and Scarbrand. It doesn't look like the Blood Reaper activated his effect there. So, hey, damage is damage at the end of the day. Doesn't cost too much Winds of Magic. Might as well get it popping. So, the Forsaken could probably engage with the Blood Letters. We saw that in the previous game. They actually do really good versus the Blood Letters. So, you get the Forsaken involved in them. You then get the Blue Horrors raining shots down on Scarbrand. We even have Pink Horrors each being brought in. It looks like they're really lining up to just bring that artillery bombardment to the enemy force. Objective 3 is and 1 are completely both uncontested at the moment. We do have Fleshhounds swarming in. Their main job is going to be to hunt down the horrors you would expect. We do get the Golden Hounds bounding around, hunting down Blood Letters, doing some pretty decent damage. It does seem to track them there. And in comes the Pink Horrors and the Blue Horrors, perhaps going to be trying to bring down Scarbrand. It looks like they're actually doing a bit of split fire rather than all focusing at the one beastie. The Scarbrand is about to get lit up. Oh my god. The plasma shots. The plasma shots. Have mercy. So it does look like the Exiled Lord did bow out. Now this is where a lovely big shot would be placed, and a Serum Doom is going to come in, which is going to be quite nice. We do get the big spell resistance go down, but unfortunately the spells are coming down on this side, being down the Fleshhounds, doing some good work. Forsaken up against Bloodletters. It does look like Forsaken lose, but they just do a lot of damage. Pink Horror's going to continue to rain shots in. Scarbrand's not had a good day whatsoever and is kind of getting his arse beat right now. We have a Fury summon coming by Logic as well. Very closely contested fight in the middle. Both players going for their home objectives as well. Sacrificing some resources there. Blue Horror's going to capture objective number 3. Chaos Warhounds capturing objective number 1. And the middle fight's going to be close. It looks like we may get a Final Transmutation go down, maybe, on Scarbrand. Or perhaps it was already popped there, as he has taken quite a lot of damage. And the Chaos Fury is going in for the kill. They are a ticking time bomb because they're summons. They're going to die anyway, but I don't mind this play. Chuck them against Scarbrand and just annoy him, and it seems like we're instead going to get the Final Transmutation down on the middle here. Big air effect spell coming down of some degree. Yeah, Final Transmutation. Oh, that is nasty. And we have Flamers on the field. I think Tzeentch might claim this middle objective here. Like, they have so much firepower on. This is really disgusting Tzeentch play. Bloodletters, though, are victorious on the right, can engage with the Blue Horrors or sneak around and deal with the Flamers. Scarbrand, he's like swatting flies, though. He's not taking too much damage. Exiled Lord might go in for a bit of a 1v1. I wouldn't mind that, particularly the Pink Horrors supporting. We're about to see Serum Doom come down the Bloodletters. In comes the Pink Horrors, in comes the Blue Horrors and the Forsaken. But it looks like Khorne are actually capping at this middle objective, at least for now. Despite the fact they're losing the battle in the mid, they're actually claiming the objective, and they have Warhounds on the approach. Objective 3 is hotly contested. This is going to force Logic to kind of bring some troops over here and help engage. I'd love to see some Forsaken. Oh my god, that shine on the snow is very bright. Fleshhounds are here, as well as a double Fleshhounds, it seems. And we do get the big old raining shots come down from Tzeentch, from their faction ability. That's going to kill all their own Blue Horrors, but also do damage to the Fleshhounds. Tzeentch have a nice counter to them as well in the form of the Screamers, but capping-wise, Darv is massively ahead. He's doing very good on all the objectives, although this middle objective hasn't been capped by anyone yet. But I would say Logic's done more damage, considerably more damage as well. Look at that, 6,200 damage compared to the 4,500 of Khorne. Scarbrand is having to do a rather hasty retreat. It looks like the central objective is now being captured by Tzeentch, who have forced in their Pink Horrors and Blue Horrors to attempt to cap it. And there we go, Tzeentch has the middle objective. It does look like the far objective, though, will be held by Khorne, perhaps playing the mobile game with more Chaos Warhounds and a angry Scarbrand, who's taken quite a bruising so far, pulling back to defend his home objective. Logic needs to recalculate and get his forces back out there. We have Blue Horrors looking to pressure objective number 3. Once again, I'd love to see some Forsaken go over there. It's like a little bit more hard-hitting to contest the enemy. We still have the Flamers in the mid. We have Blue Horrors as well. And it looks like, yeah, the middle is all juicy Tzeentch right now. They're looking very comfortable with here at the moment. We do have the Exiled Lord of Change looking to hunt down Scarbrand and actually float over there and maybe deal with him. Pushing Objective 1 wouldn't be the worst idea in the world either. Bloodlayers have come by Darv. Looks like they have stalled at the moment. They definitely been moving forward a little bit. But again, it's very hard to micro in this game because there's so much going on. Beautiful play as well by Darv, moving the Flesh Hounds to intercept the Blue Horrors. So it's going to give him more time to cap this objective with the Flesh Hounds. Currently very close here on tickets. Logic slightly further ahead. We do get a Searing Doom go down on the Chaos Warhounds. That's certainly going to allow the Blue Horrors to cap this objective. And now the mobility of Tzeentch really coming into play as Blue Horrors cackle, laugh, and dart around the battlefield. Exiled Lord of Change, I don't think he wants to duel Scarbrand in combat. 3,000 HP is still surprisingly a lot, and he hits really scarily hard. We got some Flamers just vibing in the middle, a few units in the middle from both players, which are just kind of sitting around, need to get active and kind of moving towards the middle. And this objective was not claimed by Darv. He's had to fall back with the Flesh Hounds, and now the Spawn can move in and cap the objective on objective number 3. It looks like we are seeing a few units being withdrawn from Logic just to heal them up and get them back into the game, but we may see a triple cap come in here. Objective 2 is very much Tzeentch. Objective 1 is Khorne for now, but it is turning into Tzeentch colours. And Objective 3 is not held by anyone yet, and it seems like it is going to be all Tzeentch. So Logic coming in with another dominant start in Game 3. Similar thing happened in Game 2. We have to see if Darv can fight his way back here. I think the damage to his Lord early days was a little bit rough there, and you can see the poorer Bloodlayers were forgotten about. They are now starting to move, but they've taken considerable damage now. Scarbrand's going to be pushing up, looking to try to push Objective 1 maybe, but with the Blue Horrors here, it's kind of looking quite scary. He's pulled back his Flesh Hounds, needs to stay calm, lose a load of, like, this early in the game. Look at the points. You have so many tickets to still gain. He needs to build up an army, try and jump any units which are isolated and just win those kind of engagements, and build up your own army to fight back a little bit. We do have Chaos Warhounds on the back, getting finished off by Pink Horrors. Objective 2 is just full Tzeentch. It is all Tzeentch right now. Triple Tzeentch cap. Khorne are going to have to play this very, very defensively now. All their forces just pulling back here to their deployment zone and biding their time to perhaps build a big force and try to smash Logic in the later stages of the game. Now, the way Logic counters this, of course, these Forsaken, they've got no health. Take them off the field. You don't need them here. Let them regenerate their health and then come back bigger and stronger, because you can also resupply, of course. We have Spawn of Tzeentch and Blue Horrors starting to move around, perhaps apply a little bit of pressure. We have Flesh Hounds being summoned, and a nasty Skull Cannon has been summoned. And oh my god, that did some damage to those Flamers. I guess that was on their shield, but doing some big damage to the Flamers who are now being forced out. And we've got a big push. This is what I like to see. Look at the Hounds reaving up the battle line with Bloodletters. Hounds will kill the Blue Horrors. Scarbrand can deal with the Spawn, and this is a big push from Darv to try and get himself back into the game and back onto one of these objectives. Scarbrand getting in there. Here's a really funny animation where he just punts a load of horrors all over the place. Big slam down as well. Do a nice little air effect there. And it looks like the Blue Horrors will be getting dragged down. The points, the tickets-wise at least, are very healthy for Logic right now, but he has had to spread himself relatively thin. And I don't think he's going to be able to hold objective number 1. But a final transmutation, if he has one on Scarbrand right now, would be disgusting, because it would also kill the majority of the Hounds here. Blue Horrors look like they might lose this objective. Flamers are moving forward. We have a rather annoying Blood Reap. He's been fighting all day in that middle objective. And in come the Flesh Hounds into the middle. This is pretty scary stuff. Darth might be able to get 2 capture points back. There's a lot of reinforcements coming by Logic. Forsaken, and you guessed it, Blue Horrors. Not quite Forsaken there. There's also, you know, Pink Horrors vibing in the back of the map. We do have big shots coming from the Flamers. They could quite comfortably kill Scarbrand here as well, perhaps. They've got great AP. And it looks like the Flesh Hounds are just getting roasted. I love the Metal Caster. The Exalted Lord of Change is so powerful. Look at that Searing Doom. Searing the flesh of the Flesh Hounds to bone. And even the mighty Scarbrand must have flinched at that. Warhounds do pop through onto the Flamers, attempting to save Scarbrand, who's taken massive damage right now, down to just 1,900 HP. Objective is currently in Tzeentch's hand. Objective 2 also held. And Objective 3, there is simply no pressure. Lovely reinforcements from Logic coming in there. Hell Cannon's trying its best. It's poking shots in. It's in a lot of damage to enemy infantry, but is it going to be enough? Seems like we are going to get a final transmutation. Only 1 unit in it, but it's killing the enemy general. It would probably be worth it. Flesh Hounds are able to run over the Flamers of Tzeentch. We have Bloodlayers coming in, and though, is this going to be a nasty final transmutation? It's got a long wind-up cast, whatever spell this is. Is it going to be final transmutation? I don't know. It seems to still be going off. I feel like this is a bug. Maybe he cancelled it. Oh, it's, I think because Darv left there. But nice victory there, coming by Logic, who does take this series back 2-1 in his favor after being 1-0 down. He just needs to win one more game. Lovely performance by both players again. Scarbrand kept alive at the end by Darv, but struggled in the early game. That was so much long-range pressure coming for Tzeentch. He did struggle a bit there, only getting 780 value, 43 kills. I like the Blood Reaper pick. He was a pain in the ass all day long. 800 value on him. Bloodlayers, 960, 640, 500 value on them. Just taking too much damage, I think, from the Forsaken. Forsaken, 500 value, 900 value, 700 value, 700 on the spawn. This pesky Exile Lord of Change was awesome. 1.7k value on him. The Blue Horrors, 440 and 1000 value. Anything else get any crazy value? The Flamers were nice, 800 value on them. Logic was just very snappy with what units he would bring back, and that early pink horror summon, 1.2k value. Basically all of that on Scarbrand as well. That was a real clutch pick. I do like the Skull Cannon being brought in. I think the Blood Shrine would have been quite nice. Try and run over some of the infantry. And then we have all the Flesh Hounds who just struggled to get into the fight. Even the ones who got big kills, they were only on the Horrors. They're well played, but that is going to be going to the game 3 now? No, game 4. I can do maths. I swear. So that is now 2-1 in the favor of Logic against Darv. And we'll have to see what their blind picks are. Let's double check with them. Make sure they're both still good. That's true. Okay, they're saying they thought they found a bug during the fin. Interesting. Maybe just that map. But we'll wait for them to send our blind picks, and we'll get Crack-a-lackin' again. We will get Crack-a-lackin' again. Cackles in schemes? Yeah, whoever likes Tzeentch. Oh, skulls for the skull from him. Sorry, Scarbrand. I'm sorry, bro. It was not enough. Khorne has a load of spell resistance, so they can tank a lot of the magic. Go, my elite brothers. Show those uncivilized beasts one fin or two. Disciple of Tzeentch, your boys are done good today. Been a lot of wins from Tzeentch and Nurgle today. Quite a few losses, unfortunately, from Khorne and Kislev. Both of them are great factions, by the way. It's just, that's the way it's gone today. That's the way it's gone today. Tasty blob. Nom nom nom. Tasty indeed. Hounds kind of feel like, oh yeah, hounds are kind of like good infantry in general. What's up, Ben the Barman? Long time no see, my friend. Hopefully you're pulling up a Bugman's yourself and having a bit of a drink. Second best Ben I know. I love it. Hope you're all good. Logic is also called Ben, by the way, so there's many a Bens around. Aldrin on the Miss says, have you tried starting with 1 Lord Herald and 2 basic demon heroes? For example, 3 ranged characters for Tzeentch, snipe big monsters and lords. I have not. I will certainly give it a go. I've tried a Lord Herald and a basic Lord of Change and gone for the 2 snipe spells, and it's worked pretty well. So I think that's definitely possible. Thank you so much, dude, for the donation. You're always so supportive. And yeah, I think, hope that answers your question. I think it could work. I haven't tried it yet, though, personally, but I could see it doing good. I can see it doing good. What bug? Darth was saying his Flesh Hounds weren't capping one of the objectives. I think there was, like, often stuff contesting them, but maybe it's just on that map. Okay, let's switch up the map as well, because we are forgetting to do that. I don't think we've done crossing of the Sea Claws yet as a map. Have we? I don't know. We'll do it anyway, and if not, we'll move back to Gallen's Cove afterwards for the final game, if it goes all the way. I do need you guys to inspire Darv right now. Try to get him back into this game, because we want as many games as possible. We want all the juicy games. The first 2 best of 3s were both 2-0s. We did get 3 games at the first one, though, because we were waiting for the Mighty Mercy to appear after he finished his stream. But we need Darv to win this so we can go to a final game. We need it. We need it in our blood. We need it in our bones. We can go out as 3 Bens. Oh, was Wicked D called Ben as well? Is Antisti in this tournament? No, he was not. He was going to try to make it, but he was making videos and couldn't make it in time. We're on the final now. We're on the final. So let's see if they've sent blind picks yet. Map is now set. Cool. So I have Logic's blind pick. I have to see what Mr. Darv wants to do. I don't think watch factions. These guys must be getting to the edge of their factions they main at this point. You will organize a happy happy? Oh god. Ben the Bomb and happy happy sounds dangerous. Let's go, Dov. Give us game 3. Exactly. Exactly. My god, my voice is becoming like raw. Luckily, I've done tomorrow's video in advance. It's been a while since I streamed, guys. It's been a while since I streamed. Because obviously I've been limited to the amount of stuff I can like put out and show you guys. I wanted to get as much content as possible, and that mainly comes in the form of videos. They've been doing really well. Thank you guys so much for the support on the videos. There's been a lot of love given about them, and they've done really well. I think my Doom Night video is my biggest video of all time, which is crazy. Like a basic battle to kind of get that many views and stuff. So it's been really awesome. Stream today. We will probably be streaming maybe Sunday as well. Will be the next stream. Maybe also stream tomorrow, but it'll be a Warhammer 2 one because we need to wrap up a clan war that we're finishing off. And then we'll be, from next week onwards, we're going to be doing consistent streams again, both here and on Twitch. There's a link down below to Twitch if you want to kind of hop on that. I'll be streaming on Twitch probably about as much as I stream on YouTube. So lots of streams. Lots of stream. Awesome. So we have a matchup we've played quite a lot. It is Kislev versus Nurgle. Kislev versus Nurgle. And I think we've seen this 3 times today, and Nurgle has won every single time. Every time. Nurgle have dominated. Maybe it's a really good matchup for Nurgle. We'll have to wait and see. I think Ice Guard could be pretty good here for Kislev. Is Logic DBD too? Yes, yes he is. Get this man a new voice box. Yeah, I need one. Hey, I wish I could stream much longer. My voice just isn't in it. I think it's because I did like a lot of acting when I was younger. I still did acting through college and uni, but they didn't really teach us vocal technique till way later. And I played a load of characters who did a lot of screaming. So I'm quite guy as a kid, so I didn't speak too much. So my voice wasn't used to screaming a load. And then I did a load of roles where I had to scream, and my voice just has been like screwed a bit ever since. It's fine. It's not too bad. I can still stream like long times, just not like can't do like a 5-hour stream on Thursday and then a 5-hour stream on Friday. Hey, Mr. Duck. What older races would be very good in domination, possibly, asks Luke. It's such a tough question to ask at the moment. I would have to think about a lot more. I think Lizardmen and Skaven have been ones I've been thinking about a lot, obviously, because I'm a Lizardman main. I think Lizardmen are going to be pretty good. Cheap skinks to cap objectives, good mid-tier infantry to hold them, good single entities, right? So I think units which are good across the board tend to be decent in domination. One of my favorite things about domination, there's quite a few. I love the maps, I love the gameplay. But one of my favorite things is every type of unit has a point in the battle where it's useful and good. Like, a lot of the time in Warhammer 2 right now, you will see elite infantry builds, but they're very rare. And they have a lot of counters to them as well. Whereas in this game mode, you see light infantry, good for it's fast, can capture objectives. Heavy infantry and elite infantry, fantastic at holding objectives. Skirmish cav, very good at mobility. These maps are quite a lot bigger than we're used to. Very good at getting to objectives quickly. Single entities, fantastic fighters, can clear a lot of infantry as well themselves. You see a little bit of everything, which is refreshing. It's kind of refreshing. I think we're going to see a lot of units which maybe don't get any love at all in Warhammer 2, might become like MVPs and really important in this game mode. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll see some units which just never got love and were a bit memey before that become powerful. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. Can't wait for Dwarf Mirror matches. Oh god, Dwarf Mirror, Nurgle Mirror, and Vampire Mirror, or any of them against the other, is going to be just, oh my god, it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a grind. What's up, Ninja, aka Magnus? Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing all good, man. Ice-themed armies with Kislev and Norska versus speed-themed armies with Tzeentch and Beatsman? Oh god, Eldrin, oh god. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I had a video, it's so cool, I don't want to spoil it, because the video didn't really go all the way through because the battle was won too quickly, where I brought like an ice-themed Kislev build. I'm assuming you can see the way I went with it, with the build and the units you can bring. And it did so good. It won really quickly, and I don't know if it's going to get a good enough video to cast, because the battle's really short and it's very one-sided. Maybe I'll do a clip of it, and I'll show you the ice-themed Kislev build, and do like a little clip, and upload it as like a 1-minute thing, because something happens at the start where they target the enemy general, and it goes rather well for me. It goes rather well, but once again, dude, thank you so much for the donation. It's greatly appreciated. It really does help support the channel here, and allow me to grow as a little duck and as a little person. Helps me survive, buys me bread and water. Hidden units are going to be really good fun. You can see when someone summoned a hidden unit. You can't see what it is, but you can see the portal opening up, so you know they're on the field. You know they're on the field. Double check Discord. Doesn't look like no Logic has any. Not have any questions. He's just contemplating his build right now. Cool. And then I'm back into the game. Ben is like the best name. I don't know. I feel like Ducky. Might be. What means choke point battle? Says Arik Ral. Choke point battle here is basically like the whole map is like one big choke point type fight. So you can do this on Warhammer 2. You can do this on Warhammer 2. There's like maps which specifically in campaign as choke point battles. Survival battles like the other new one on here. And I think we might be able to do some survival battle tournaments. And siege battles are actually pretty freaking good now. So I think we might be able to do some tournaments like siege tournaments. 2v2 tournaments are going to be insane on this game mode because when me and Anticity played, you're constantly communicating. It's really good fun. 2v2 domination tournaments, 3v3 domination tournaments, but you can't have this. Oh, you can't do 4v4 because you can't have a spectator in. We can do 4v4 replays though. But yeah, those tournaments, you can definitely do the new game mode tournaments as well. So there's a lot of exciting stuff. What was your favorite soul grinder? Oh, Tzeentch's might be the coolest looking, I think. I think so. My name is actually Ducky. Yeah, my legal name is Ducky. It's not actually. It's not secretly. 2v2 I get Wicked. Man, Ben the Barman and Wicked would be a deadly combo in 2v2. 2v2s are... Oh, you could do Team Ben in 3v3 tournaments. Okay, anyway, enough of my mental ramblings. People who watch this back and don't look at the chat are going to be so confused what I'm going on about. Once again, this strat hasn't worked once today. It is a good strat. Hasn't worked once today, but Logic's like, I don't care, I'm doing it anyway. We get the double Warbear Riders. The difference is he's bringing Boris instead of the... Oh my god, this is some R-rated bear-on-bear action. Oh my god, it's like the human centipede, but with bears. Oh no! Oh, that's disgusting. We do have Boris coming in with all his goodies. So the guys are starting pretty much straight away, so I'll only do over the builds quickly. We have a Patriarch to buff them all, double Warbear, anti-large, you get the gist. For the Forces of Khorne, again, going a little bit wider here. We have some Chaos Spawn. We have Nurglings. We have even more Nurglings. A Soul Grinder of Nurgle. Herald of Nurgle. Darth really likes the foot Herald of Nurgle. I quite like him up in the skies, particularly against someone like Kislev, who can't really contest them. And double Cultist as well. So interesting fight. It's going to be a crazy one. I don't think Logic necessarily wants to go for the mid objective. And I love this. Instantly, he's like, cool, I see what you're doing. You got a big blob. I'm not going to play it. Not going to play it. Summons some dervishes, get some warbears, gets Boris, and just instantly splits to the two different objectives. It's like, hey, you're going to have to split your forces if you want to come out and play. Now, Darth isn't out this yet, of course. He has the Soul Grinder. He can do a lot of long-range pressure. It is relatively mobile. You can honestly leave probably one unit of Chaos Spawn here and one Nurgle, and send the rest of your army down to Objective 3, or up to Objective 1. Objective 1 is probably the easier one for him to claim right now, because if the Kislevs summon anything, you can probably counter them quick enough, and Nurglings won't die that quickly to all this cavalry, so this middle objective would be relatively safe, like relatively safe. It looks like Darth is going to start to summon some Forsaken, like that summon, and some Nurglings, and start pushing on to Objective 1, because the Warbears and Patriarch are going to struggle up against that much infantry. Logic, of course, will dominate this bomb left capture point at the moment, Objective number 3. But Boris and the Warbears are very expensive. Of course, you want them in the action to be paying for themselves. Likewise, none of the Nurgle army is yet fighting, and we may see a bit of a pincer movement coming in from Nurgle here. They're either going to push up into his spawn and block off this point, or block off this point and really try to gun for objective number 1. That's the way I would like to see Nurgle pull this off. We do have the Griffin Legion starting to move up. They're about to take some nasty shots, though. Oh, they get a little bit of cover. Oh, take some damage, but nothing too much, and start moving over. Now, Griffin Legion going to be much better against the Forsaken and the Nurgle than, you know, your average kind of dervishes and stuff. So I like that summon quite a bit. Darth going to be coming with the Beast of Nurgle. Got a nice calm start to the battle. There's barely been a shot fired so far. We can see 15 gold damage value total so far, and we're nearly at the 3-minute point where the objectives can be capped. Both players taking a nice slow approach. Now, the problem with this for Kislev, Nurgle, once they get going, can be really hard to stop. So, you don't want them to get too big of a force. We have Warbears led by the Patriarch going against the Nurglings and the Forsaken. This is to buy time for the Griffin Legion to come over here and cap objective 1, you'd assume, but Warbears took some decent damage there and didn't do too much back. We have Fury summoned in, and we also have the Mighty Soul Grinder, which has such long range, pounding the Warbears from afar. We have even more cavalry coming in from Logic. It's going to be rough, though. The cavalry's not going to be good against capping against all this infantry. Now, the Dervishes are sitting on objective 3. Boris's Warbears probably want to go into the main fight a little bit and start to contest back. Warbears are being forced back, and it looks like at the moment this objective is being held by Kislev. If they can push up one unit and once again do that trick where you stop the enemy infantry, get onto the objective, that'd be clutch, but I think it's going to be too slow this time. And some of the Forsaken get on the objective, but not many. So the Forsaken take a really nasty front charge there from the Bears, Patriarch, and the Griffin Legion, and that's going to allow the Dervishes to actually cap this objective. Lovely play by Logic. He's done that multiple times today to really top-notch effect, and it's catching a lot of players out. We also have a load of cheap spears on their way to approach. Objective 3, of course, is going to be Kislev's. Boris is a vibing in the distance. It's always hard for me to say Boris because, for those who aren't in the UK, our Prime Minister is called Boris, and I keep wanting to make memes about it, but I probably should stay not being political, you know. Griffin Legion and the Warbears, as well as Patriarch, holding firm. They're destroying the Beast of Nurgle now. They did a good charge on the pesky Forsaken, and Nurgle may have to split their forces here. Furies do descend upon the Dervishes, doing some nice damage. And we do have the Juicy Spearmen on approach. Looks like one unit may actually start to go for a mid-push, and it looks like this is a bit of a trap being sprung here. So Darv's like, right, I need to come to this objective. I have to fight for it. I am currently being double-capped. I do not like this. So he leaves the Soul Grinder behind, but that is a perfect trap for the Warbears. Boris to come in. Looks like one unit of Spearmen as well as the other desperately pushes towards objective number 1. Now, as far as damage dealt is going, Logic is slightly further ahead, but nothing too crazy. Fury's about to rear attack some Warbears. The Griffin Legion, the Warbears, the Patriarch, they are holding firm though, doing a decent job. I like the split early on by Kislev, and it's working. It is working, at least at the moment. Now, the Warbears push him to objective number 2. Looks like Darv's like, okay, I can't hold 2 objectives, so I'm just going to push objective 1 and try and claim it, because it looks like the Warbears as well as the Corsairs are coming in here, or Corsairs I think they're called, more than Corsairs. But yeah, 2 infantry, probably want to pop them on objective 3 and then bring in the Dervishes into play to help contest objectives. And once again, you want to do the same trick here. So the Nurglings are on the approach. They will be able to anti-cap this objective. So you get your Warbear Rise and you pin the Nurglings before they can get on the objective. But it looks like Logic isn't too worried about that because he has a load more infantry on the approach. Objective 1 is starting to fall, though, into the hands of Nurgle as these Warbear Rise get surrounded. They can't really escape. There's Furies in here. We get the glorious Griffin Legion, who have some quite fantastic color schemes going on. The Warbears are trying to fight as well, but the flapping wings of the Furies, the pestilence of the Nurglings are starting to drag down the Bears. We can see, unfortunately, some of them are dragged low into the frozen coldness here of Kislev. Kislev still holds the objective for now, but it won't be for long. Looks like Nurgle have now split their own forces into 2 and will be trying to contest back the central objective. And they're doing well because they have the double Nurglings in here. Now, looks like Boris does a decent job, and he comes in here and beats the living snot out of this Soul Grinder. Boris is a pretty nasty anti-large duelist, particularly with his Warbears, but it looks like we are going to get a heal from the Soul Grinder who can fall back, and the central objective is very hotly contested. We have even more troops coming in. We want to see the Warbears also do a rear attack, and objective 3 is just open now. Kislev aren't defending it, but that's fine. It's a lot faster than Nurgle, and they can get back there and support. So objective 1 is in the hands of Nurgle. Ticket points is just ahead for Logic at the moment. We have a Snow Leopard on the field. The Warbears are doing a good job. They will probably be going down here. They might be able to drag down the Beast of Nurgle as they go down. And it will be a big loss, though, for Logic to lose these troops. But they've done a good job holding back and keeping Objective 1 as long as they can. These Spearmen, I think it's a lost cause pushing Objective 1 now. It's painful, but I'd probably loop them back round to Objective 2 at this point, because I think Nurgle have well and truly have their grimy little mittens on that objective point. However, the middle has been secured. Nurglings will lose to most troops in combat. Dervishes have been summoned in to do some nice damage, and it looks like Darv, he's brought in the boys, brought in the cavalry, the Plague Toads. They're hippity-hoppity in their way down to objective 3, and what is Logic going to do to respond? Zargard, not a bad pick at all. Zargard can be moved over here. Quite elite, can certainly hold an objective down for a long time, but Nurgle have saved up a lot of points now. Damage value is getting a little bit closer, still ahead for the forces of Logic and the Kislevs. But a Beast of Nurgle and Forsaken coming into that middle fight. And I think these Spearmen fight in Objective 1 is a bit of a lost cause. And now the Warbears, they're all kind of getting dragged down slowly. And maybe Darv can fight his way back into this game. Snow Leopard's trying to draw the Cultist. And we do have Boris as well, just hunting down the Soul Grinder. But because it's Nurgle and they're healing, it's taking a long time to grind through him. Warbears and Patriarch as well struggling now in this main fight. Oh no, these guys need to move forward onto Objective 1. They could start claiming it right now. It looks like they are eventually going to be given that attack order. Looks like we're going to get a nice little split. These guys going to the 3 corners of the zone. They also have a lot of bows, so they're going to be trying to make their formation nice and wide so they can crossfire as much as possible. We have dervishes facing plague toads, which is not going to go good for the plague toads. Zargard now moving towards that center objective that the plague toads have kind of given up on that flank attack. And the Zargard can be very good against Forsaken, like very, very good. So I like this little play here. Move these guys into the middle. Just need to keep an eye out on the far objective here. Kislev starting to capture objective 1, which is good to see. We have all these cheap spearmen in here, so a lot of Nurglings are going to have to push in. We have some bears who have been rallied back to the cause. Boris is just a tank. Snow Leopard and Patriarch amongst him, and they will drag low the Soul Grinder. Boris, oh, the bear! Yeah, let's go, bear boy. He's getting up on his back legs and swiping at the Soul Grinder. Soul Grinder mimics him, though. Does some big damage back. We do get the Shard Blade come in. That's some big damage from Boris as well, and slows. Although the Bear Cav has stabilized, I'd probably pull this Bear Cav back, though, and withdraw it. Middle objective is looking pretty bleak now for both sides. There's going to be a lot of blood and carnage brought here. Griffin Legion need to move forward into combat. Dervishes as well have been finished off by Plague Toads, or at least driven away. Objective 3 is still being held by Kislev. We have more troops on the approach, and it looks like they are holding the central point, at least for now. Objective number 1 is still going strong just about for Nurgle, but Kislevites... Okay, no, Kislev... It's going real back and forth there. If they can get some Bear Cav in here, or even some more Dervishes in, they should maybe be able to get the triple cap here, which would be huge, because they're getting quite a decent advantage now. About 1,000 tickets over Nurgle, who have just lost their Soul Grinder. Boris the Bear, the absolute Chad, is not a lord you want to trifle with. His Bear Cav surrounds him. He has his Patriarch screaming about the honor of the great Bear God and what it means to Kislev, and now they can ride over here and cap Objective 1. Nurgle, for the first time against Kislev, all tournament, they've been so good against Kislev, are starting to struggle pretty badly here. Now, the central objective is hotly contested. The Snow Leopard, such a quick utility unit. I love this when it bounds across the open plains with a lovely bit of grace and elegance, and it rips your face off. Did actually move in and stop the cap in the middle, but now it's moved out of the objective. Nurgle are actually starting to cap again, but he decided to go after the Beast of Nurgle, and the middle fight is starting to look pretty good for Nurgle. I think they're going to be able to get objective 2, but what does it cost them? Objective 1, and that's a big problem for them, particularly with Boris now jumping on the enemy general. If this general goes down, that's going to be very bleak news. Look at this. We've got Bear Cav in here, Dervisher Cav, Boris the Chat, we have the Patriarch, all trying to drag down this lonely little herald of Nurgle. Here's a cultist with him. I don't think that's going to be enough to claim that objective. The middle is going very, very back and forth game so far here in the mid. We do have the Kossars trying their best, but I think, yeah, Nurgle seemed out of action. They summoned some units to move down on the flank here, but Logic, after losing that first game, came back with the reverse triple win sweep. And I don't think he's played that much Kislev either, so pretty impressive work there. Boris did his duty for Kislev. He did his duty, he fought hard, and did a fantastic game. 2,300 gold value on him, 16 kills, hunted down that Soul Grinder, and was basically unscathed. He was basically full health at the end of the game, which is very good news for him. Patriarch as well, 1.1k. Bears 1.8 and 1.2k value for the mighty Kislev. We unfortunately never got the Frost Maiden in. We never got Little Grom in. 870 and 480 value on the Griffin Legion. Zargar being brought in nice reserves, likewise the Snow Leopards. The low-tier infantry was quite a nice play. I know Logic doesn't like the Dervish cavalry, but he used them really well here. And yeah, a nice grindy hold by Kislev. Managing to isolate key targets, break them down, and just fight with the passion and power of 1,000 bears, and that's all you need. Herald Nurgle did a good job, 860 value on him, 21 kills. Soul Grinder was a menace in the early game, 1.2k value, and I think that's a big turning point of the battle, was Logic shutting it down, meant that Nurgle didn't have any big burst damage to bring to Zargard and other cheap infantry, which then kind of overwhelmed the Nurgle and just capped the objective by kind of pinning in a lot more cheap infantry troops, and the Soul Grinder was the answer. Boris, though, had his number. The Kosa Nurgle, 420 and 500 value on them. Spawn, 1,000 value. Doing a pretty decent job all around. Reinforcements, did anything really shine here? 494 value on the Beast of Nurgle, I suppose. 830, 470 on the Forsakens, not bad. 500 on the Hippity Hoppities. Not Forsaken. Furies did good. 860 and 500 value. But alas, Nurgle could not quite get ahead of the game. And that often seems to go the way of Nurgle. They ever, if they can claim the middle and claim the objectives early, they can hold. They can't. They really struggle to get them back. So I feel like they're one of those factions which can be decided in the early game more so than any other faction. So let's update the final scoreboard here. That is going to be 3-1 to Mr. Logic, but the stream's not over yet. We've got a few things to delve into. Well played to Logic, well played to Darv, well played to Linksy, and also well played to Mercy the Mad. All of them had some fantastic games. The Logic did take this one 3-1 there in my very first ever Warhammer 3 tournament. I hope you guys loved it. It was so much fun to cast. But before we go, we're going to do a little bit of a duck raid on some people. But Elgin the Mist, thank you so much. Honestly, dude, you're always such a huge support. Comes in with Witch Winds in a Vacuum. Herald of Nurgle on... Oh, is it all like Palanquin fins? Very cool. Or on the Rotfly. I think the Rotfly would give him AP. So I think maybe the Rotfly. And you could cycle charge. I think the Rotfly is a better mount. I think it's a bit of a better mount. We won, my brother. The vodka and squatting give us powers, my brother. My brother. It looks like a disciple going in here. Disciple going in. Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, we didn't get the last game. We needed Darth to win that one. Go all the way through. But nonetheless, that was a fantastic tournament and some fantastic games. Who won your very first ever Total War Warhammer 2 tournament? That's my first tournament ever hosted. Ben the Barman, and I think you know who won that. It was Ben himself coming in with the glorious victories, of course. So, once again, all the guys who were playing today, Darv, Logic, Mercy, as well as, on my mind's gone blank, Linksy, all are content creators, so feel free to check them out. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below if you would want to see future tournaments and what you enjoyed about the battle today. And now I'm going to quickly go check out, see who's streaming Total War Warhammer, and we can send you over on a little raid. It looks like Turin is streaming. He's doing some campaign, but let's try to yell. So what I want you guys to do, follow this link. This will link you to Turin. Yell quack as much as possible. Make as much noise. Demand bread. Turin is hiding it. I know it's there. So go over there and start just like screaming quack over and over again until he notices you. And then obviously don't spam him too much. Links down below, by the way, to my Discord if you want to keep up to date with the channel, get involved with tournaments, live streams, and all that future stuff that I'm going to be hosting. Also see when I'm streaming and dropping content. Twitch link down below. Going to be doing a lot of streams on Twitch next week and kind of onwards from there. Maybe do a Twitch stream tomorrow. And links down below to Patreon, all that good stuff. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. That was incredibly fun. Probably my favorite tournament I've ever hosted because it was just so new and refreshing. And I can't wait to cast more of them, particularly when all you guys get your hands on the game and can do these big, gigantic, juicy tournaments. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Mercy Mad says, great cast from Duck. You're an amazing caster, super entertaining. Thanks for the invite. Next time I will bring my A game. Thank you so much, Mercy. You put up a really good fight, dude. Honestly, you put up a good fight against an experienced player. Thank you, dude, for playing. And hope you guys enjoyed in general. So until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.